Don't worry, Mr. Edgeworth. I'll be following your every movement with my binoculars. Good to hear. Now make sure you don't lose sight of me. I'm counting on you for backup. You can count on me, sir. I have to go. The kidnapper is supposed to contact me soon. Who would have thought that upon my return I'd be thrust into a kidnapping case? And that I would be the one who would have to make the ransom drop-off. Come on, Tex. Move faster. Jesus. Let's see. I checked that the money is all there, safe inside this suitcase. Oh, it's a shame to let it go to go to the kidnapper, but what are you gonna do? All I have to do is await further instructions from the kidnapper. I'm expecting to transfer to my cell phone. I wonder who else is around. This is the meeting place, after all. Actually, take that back. April may have a much more flirtatious attitude. Camille's thing was that she was like narcoleptic, but wasn't really, which I guess you could argue that's not really fan service because it would... Kick him in the balls! Kick him in the balls! Look at those cold, dead eyes!
Welcome to Gatewaterland, and a big hello to you. I'm the Proto Badger. Nice to meet you.
Oh my god, I hate it! Are you fucking kidding me? I can't keep up with the fucking demon voice, so we're gonna have to go with something else that's, like, equally as creepy.
Excuse me, but were you perhaps thinking of taking a picture of me?
Picture? Of you? Fuck no. Sorry, but I'm not interested.
Oh, that's too bad. Well, have a good day.
I was really hoping he was reaching for his firearm. Hello? Who are you? You're not Ernest Armano. He's fucking... He's the average Twitter user who's mocking someone else. It sounds like the kidnapper is using some sort of voice alteration device. I'm his representative, Miles Edgeworth. Are you a cop? No, I'm a prosecutor. I know what you're wondering, and yes, I have brought the ransom money with me. I see. In that case, bring the money with you to the stadium. I don't fucking know. I didn't want to use the one that I used for what's-his-face, though, The Killer. I already used it for him. And this dude is not as badass as The Killer was. Well, not, I won't say badass, but fucking intimidating. As dude with the stitched up face because it literally got chopped in half at some point. Please, Detective Gumshoe, I really need you to come through for me this one time. Why more of it? I wonder if some sort of rap concert is going to be held here. Tell me, is Run DMC still the cream of the crop? Or perhaps the Sugar Hill Gang? Edgeworth speaking. Next, come along to the house. And just how long do you intend to have me wander around for? That's for me to decide. You don't have much of a choice here, my friend. I suppose not. I've arrived. Go inside. What a dismal place. That's it. Go through those doors. Am I being watched from somewhere? Yeah, that fucking blue badger in the corner. Leave the money and go, now. I was hoping for an exchange, but maybe I should do as they say for now and not push it. Couldn't catch even a glimpse of the kidnapper. Perhaps I should keep an eye on this haunted house until the police backup arrives. This is terrifying. Look at it! Ugh, it was a trap. He didn't slice his head off with that sword? Oh, shit. That guy betrayed. No, can't be. The deal. Who was that? And what are they talking about? Blit. Police. Alright, in front of meet up. I can't move my body. I can't feel my body, in fact. I fear I may faint again. Well, yeah, you have no body. Oh. It's like you didn't get your head chopped off despite him having that sword swinging at you. Where am I? How long was I out? It wasn't raining like it is now when I made the drop-off. This was supposed to be a simple affair. So why have I been taken hostage as well? I can only assume Detective Gumshoe lost sight of me at some point. Probably when you went inside of the haunted house. The only reason I agreed to be the drop-off man was because of that phone call. It was... Whoa! So, let me get this straight. Dude had the biggest ear gauges ever, and then took him out, and all of his skin healed up. I mean, that's impressive. It was from Mr. Ernest Armano, the director of the Power Zavatsu, the Amano Group. Aside from that, I owe him a great debt of gratitude. His only son, Lance, had been kidnapped. I know that Lance is already in his 20s, but I guess some things you never grow out of. I can't sit around waiting for someone to come help me. I must escape somehow. Ah! Was that you making a funny sound? Who's there? Now how dare you laugh at a gentleman's plight? Oh, what the fuck? Who the fuck are you? Are you one of the kidnappers? Kidnapping me? No way, I'm not into such petty crimes. Nope, I'm after something much, much bigger. Ugh, I must be worn out from today's ordeal. Focus, Miles. Oh, I forgot to introduce myself. Sorry about that. Ahem. Even in the depths of night, when no other bird dares to take flight, one alone soars to shine the light of righteousness on the world's blight. And that one is me, for I am the great thief, Yagatarasu. Oh, but my real name is Kay Faraday. Okay, I'm not seeing the... What's the joke with the name? Is it Faraday or Faraday? See, I thought it was K for a day too. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. You can call me K, K? Good. Glad that's settled. Not quite. I have a mountain of questions for you. Well, I'm dealing with this concussion right now, and it's kind of fucking me up. So, if you would be so kind as to remove these ropes. I wonder, should I remove them? I was actually having a lot of fun watching you make those silly faces. Hey, there's no need to get all mad and icy glary on me, you know? This rope goes through here, and there you go. What a relief. I owe you my thanks. Ah, that's okay. You can pay me back in full later. Now then, what question should I start with? Fortunately, I can already tell nothing is going to be easy with this cheeky girl. You call yourself a great thief, yet are you really a thief at all? I get it. You think that a young lady like me couldn't possibly be such a big thief. Big-time thief, right? That's not the part I have a tough time believing. I am the real, genuine Yatakarasu, you know? Yup, I'm a pure-blooded great thief. It's a little something inherited from my predecessor. In that case, you wouldn't mind if I arrested you then, right? What? Of course I'd mind. I haven't stolen anything yet. Seriously, I don't know how you can say such a horrible thing to your savior. That's true. Technically, she hasn't stolen anything in front of me yet. But don't worry, I've got some big plans in the works. Big plans, huh? They wouldn't happen to lead to a big arrest, would they? I knew it. There's just no reasoning with the prosecutor. I'm not the problem here. I'll have you know that the Yatakarasu has no interest in stealing petty trinkets. There's one thing and only one thing I want to steal. Only one thing, and what would that be? That's going to have to wait until we find a way out of here. Well, at least there is one thing we can agree on. I'm sure I'll have plenty of time later to learn more about you. So you never told me what your name is, Mr. Prosecutor? Oh, I guess not. I'm Miles Edgeworth. Why are you pointing at her while you say your name? Ah, now I remember. Can you remember something I just told you? But she sure is cheery. All right then, Mr. Edgeworth, let's get out of here. Oh, shazbutts. It would seem that we are locked in from the other side. What? No way! I don't hear you, la la la! Okay, you do remember where you came in from, right? Looks like that might be our only way out of this room. Whoops, slight miscalculation. That's a good height to make an entrance from, but I can't jump that high to make an exit. I suppose we have no choice but to look around and see if we can't find another way out. Or, like, dude, these open, right? Well, I mean, if they're locked, you could still, like, use this! You tell me you can't lift your leg that high? Oh no, rip my suit. My fine Italian suits.
Maybe we can use this paint to help us escape.
Damn you, Ace Attorney, and all your girl characters that I can't voice! And what exactly do you have in mind?
Well, we could paint help in really giant letters.
And who, pray tell, would see these giant letters? We're inside a building.
Okay, then how about we light the paint on fire and send out colored smoke signals?
Wow! What a fucking big brain.
Anyone who saw it would think some crazy arsonist was about to call the cops. Actually, that may not be all that great for me, seeing as I'm the thief and all.
Let's try to find something other than this paint to use, shall we? She's still over there trying to open the door. Oh, isn't this my phone? Looks like it made it through the ordeal intact.
Only there is a way for us to contact someone on the outside.
Edward's just standing there like... Are you fucking kidding me? But we do have a way, right here. Use your goddamn eyes. How would she miss that?
There was a cell phone here this whole time?
If I'm right, Detective Gumshoe should have contacted the precinct for backup by now. Mr. Edward, sir, are you okay? I was so worried, sir. He's lucky he had a charged phone. I'm fine. I was knocked unconscious for a spell by the kidnapper, that's all. I'm sorry, sir. I'm such a failure. Boy, I hadn't lost sight of you. Detective, we don't have time for this. Have the police set up a perimeter right now. You don't have to worry about that, sir. I already got the boys working on that. Doing that, I sorta, What's wrong, Detective? Sorry to butt in, but I'm afraid you're going to have to make do with me. Who's this? Shilong Lang of Interpol. Pleasure to speak with you, Mr. Edgeworth. I've heard a great deal about you. Why exactly is an Interpol agent like yourself involved in a domestic kidnapping case? Don't sweat the details. A crime's a crime, whether it's on a local or a global scale. Besides, you're the one who's in a world of trouble. And why would you say that? Lang Shi says, the pack that runs together stays together. You catch my drift? You cause quite a ruckus by running blindly into a situation and then getting caught. You should have contacted the police from the very beginning. I'm sorry that this happened because of a lapse in judgment. However, I humbly request that you please help me out of here post-haste. Sorry, no can do. What? We're hunting the kidnapper now, and I haven't got any hands to spare. As I said, my pack moves as one. You're the one who wanted to go it alone, so good luck to you, Mr. Prosecutor. Oh, and once we do catch the kidnapper, rest assured we'll come find you, eventually. You. What a fucking douchebag! Like, unbelievably douchey. Like, I don't think I would ever be able to conceive that Interpol agent in my imagination.
What's wrong? Did you get cut off?
No, my phone ran out of power.
No way!
Doesn't matter anyway. We're trying to get out of here, though. Here through our own means. And you're still going at the door. What is this?
Looks like the Blue Badger, and it's looking as bad as ever.
Looks like a costume head to me.
Guess the Blue Badger's costume is, at the very least, a two-piece, huh?
The real question is, why is only the head sitting out here on the floor? Why does he have a goatee?
Oh, there's something inside the bottom right box. I think it's a Pink Badger costume.
Pink Badger?
You don't keep up what's going on in the world, do you? In that case, you better study up on the whole Badger clan with this.
Oh my god, there's a whole clan. Oh. Blue Badger, Bad Badger, they're all the fucking same horrible abominations. Oh my god. Proto Badger, he really does look more psychotic than the other three. What is this thing?
Think of it as a Bible.
Oh, no. Now I'm thinking they're the 4 horse badgers of the apocalypse. Whatever, I suppose I can keep it as a reference guide or something. There are 8 boxes, but 7 of them are empty, which means that 7 out of the costumes are in use right now. But aren't these badgers the mascots of the police force?
Well, I heard that the police had a hand in sponsoring this theme park. Probably because the Gatewater Group owes the police from all those cases they solved.
They have all the power of the state, And they used it to make a theme park?
Not just any theme park. They have a handcuff-shaped double looping roller coaster.
That's quite enough. I'm feeling woozy just from the thought of such a thing. I won't rest until I've... Okay. What have we here?
Ah!
Did you want to take a look?
I don't mind if I do. Oh, I see. Yes, this is definitely a key. I'm sure it's a key to something.
What's a key to nothing?
Let's see. I wonder if I can jump up and grab the top of the locker here. Man, why do they have to make such ginormous lockers anyways?
That's much less ginormous and more the fact that you have like a 14-inch vertical, which is just abysmal. Even if we wanted to use these lockers, we'd need some sort of foothold. Oh, God. The Proto Badger is that little brother that, like, everyone's kind of worried about. He might end up killing somebody because he's already kind of, like, killing animals as a child, taking pleasure in sadism. But as a parent, you're like, oh, no, it's not my boy, not my son. I fear for the family, ultimately.
If you manage to snap a shot of every member of the family, you get a really posh prize.
Well, there's a costume head sitting over there. Why not start with a picture of that?
You can't do that. That's cheating. There's only one of each badger in the park, so you have to work for it.
Speaking of badgers, there was one sitting against the wall in the haunted house.
Seriously? But somehow I don't think that one counts, Mr. Edgeworth. You have to take pictures of the costume ones walking around the park.
So those are the rules of this game? How quaint. You know where the person who kidnapped me went?
Well, after they locked you up in here, it's not like they went into the next room and started talking to someone.
I feel like I heard something as well, but it's all a haze in my mind. However, I do recall that the kidnapper was talking with someone. It was just a guess before, but I guess I really am dealing with two kidnappers here.
After that, they left. It almost seemed as if they were done with you.
I suppose that is the case, as my kidnapping seems like an afterthought to the $1 million. Oh, if they went into the next room, let's see what we can find through the slot.
Oh, we can peek into the room where the kidnappers are in from there.
I won't rest until I've inspected... Is that what I think it is?
Looks like the kidnappers had an escape tunnel prepared just in case. That's awesome. They're like a bunch of great thieves themselves.
No, they're not, because I highly doubt they made the tunnel out themselves. The floor panel was removed and propped up against the beam in a very specific way. The door on the opposite side that appears to be the same as this one, which would mean that I can probably assume that these two rooms are very similar in structure. I believe I may have just found our ticket out. Where's the floor thing? Oh, do I need to use logic? Yeah, I thought so. I need to do key and lockers. Really? Can I have more than 4 pieces of logic? I feel like we're full. Like, it has to. I'm doing this based on the assumption that, like, we won't be getting any more, so some of these have to fit together. You can have more than 4. Okay, then yeah. This is the beam I was tied to.
What's up?
I was pondering if perhaps we could make it over to and out the window if we climb this.
Good thinking, and if it's climbing action you need, just leave it to me.
Thanks, this little hook looks like it might make for a good foothold. Up you go, Kay, and good luck.
Count on it. Great thief Yatakarasu spreads her mighty wings and takes to the skies. Here we go.
As I thought, this beam was definitely not made for climbing. This hook on this beam.
You know, I already tried, and there's no way I can jump from the hook to the window. Come on, even you have to admit when something's just not possible.
Huh, I wasn't about to suggest that again, rather that it's here for a different purpose.
Really, like what?
As you saw in the adjacent room, it's clearly for keeping a floor panel propped up, which means that there should be a panel in this room that we can open as well.
Oh, I get it.
We didn't notice its existence all this time because it was being hidden by this tarp.
All right then, let's fold this thing up and see what's underneath. Now this is what I call a treasure.
This thing is locked down tight.
Ah, fiddlesticks.
I believe you're up, Kay.
Huh? Why me?
Because we need to use the tiny key that you've taken quite a liking to.
Oh, gotcha. Just leave it to me. I love the tense feeling of these moments when you're about to uncover something big.
I believe the feeling of freedom would be much more satisfying right about now.
All right, I got the secret door open, and now...
Jim, what the fuck?
Ah!
Are you alright, Kay?
I'm fine, the ladder just slipped is all.
Thank goodness she's alright. I was about to have a coronary.
There's a lot of really large machinery down here.
What about an exit?
It's really dark and cramped down there, so I don't really think there's an exit. I can't believe that happened.
You have only yourself to blame for leaping before you looked, you know.
No way, I mean, how was I supposed to know that the ladder is removable?
I figured out how we will escape this prison, Kay.
Oh, so how are we gonna bust out?
This ladder isn't just for those who wish to go down.
Oh, I see, if we use this.
Yes, I believe it's long enough to reach the top of those lockers.
Well, then what are we waiting for? All right, now we can get out of here.
All right, Chun-Li, relax.
Yatta!
Yes, we spent entirely too much time in here. Kidnappers who held me hostage and a mysterious Interpol agent. This case is only getting started, and I'll be the one to bring it to a resounding end. Why don't I ever say these things out loud? They're so badass. It is pretty ridiculous. Like, a lot of the earlier ones I thought were actually really cool in how they matched up the logic. This was more, well, if 1 plus x equals 2, what does x equal? I thought from the beginning she was gonna try to jump on his back or something, and they just never did that. Looks like it stopped raining for now. That's good, or I probably would have slipped and bust my shit on that pole.
Yeah, thank goodness. You have no idea how hard it was raining earlier.
Mr. Edgeworth, I'm so glad to see you managed to escape, sir. I was so stressed that I thought my heart was gonna give out. Detective Gumshoe, may I ask what in the world that is? Oh, that's, Men in Black? MIB?
The black suits come in.
You know, we've seen the thumbnail before, and it still doesn't, it did not lighten the blow at all from this fucking guy coming out of a saloon about to address 100 people.
What the heck do you think you're doing, counting my cubs off like that? Every person is a valuable human being, you get me? And everyone has a name that their parents gave to them. No one is a 2 or 3. Everyone, regardless of age or rank, is number 1. Got it?
Shifu, Shifu! Shifu, 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 Shifu. You are Agent Lang, I take it? You infidel! How dare you address our Shifu so rudely?
Yeah. Lang Shi says, a cub who disrespects others soon feels the disciplinary bite of an elder. So don't you ever forget to show the proper respect towards another person. Sheena.
That's Sheena, I guess?
This isn't much, but please accept my card.
Oh, thank you. Please accept mine in return. Oh, the old card exchange.
You all see that just now? That is the proper way for two people to show their respect. Keep that in mind and you'll get far in life. Got it?
Ah, that's right. Francisca did warn me. Something about an elite Interpol agent from the Republic of Changfa. Apparently, this man has the highest success arrest rate in the organization. Agent Lang, why exactly is an Interpol agent involved with this clearly domestic case?
That's none of your business, Mr. Prosecutor.
How is it not?
I've heard a rumor or two about you. You solved a murder that occurred during your flight home recently, right? Ha! But you sure took a while just to arrest one little flight attendant. How pathetic.
How dare you say that about Mr. Edgeworth? Are you saying you could have solved it faster, pal?
The comedic relief jumps to the aid of his master. How cliche. Look, what I'm getting at is that if I had been there, no one would have died. I would have solved the entire case and Agent Hicks would still be with us here today.
Agent Lang knew yesterday's victim, Agent Ackby Hicks.
Hicks was like a brother to me, so now I'm out to take my revenge.
Agent Hicks was investigating a smuggling ring with Francisca and a third person. This must be the man she was talking about. In that case, you should understand how I feel as the kidnapped is someone I know. So I ask that you please allow me to participate in the investigation.
Not so fast!
The fuck was that?
This isn't your neatly trimmed courtroom of Eden, you know. You're out in the wilderness now, Mr. Prosecutor, and way out of your league. No hard feelings, but why don't you go back to your courtroom now, pretty boy?
You dare to mock the court!
I do, and I don't need the help of a filthy prosecutor. Sorry, but the truth doesn't need the likes of you to distort it today.
Who uses the adjective filthy to describe a prosecutor? I can probably think of a few people. Not me, though. I respect prosecutors. Why I like Clavier so much? Clavier so much. And why? Why do I feel such intense loathing emanating from him?
Alright, man, good job on the perimeter around Gatewater Land. Now just find me the kidnapper and bring that punk to me. Dismissed.
Sir!
Now then, Mr. Prosecutor, you just sit tight here and don't cause any trouble, understand?
Wait! God damn it, I said wait! Mr. Edgeworth, it's been a while since I last met someone so disagreeable. Why of all places did he show up here? And completely out of the blue at that? I suppose I'll have to ask Detective Gumshoe to fill me in on that. Why do you have, like, a fucking ammo belt on? If I needed any other reason to fear you.
Hello, everybody.
This is too much. I couldn't wear what he's wearing every day. This is hot. This is really hot. What would happen if I went to court like this? Well, having the wig is probably the biggest problem. Because they'd be like, why the fuck does he have a wig on? No, I'm just Edgeworth like 10 years in his future. He got tired of always being so clean shaven. He's still wearing this shit though. I'm Edgeworth, so I keep my badge in my pockets. Need not show the world the badge, right? Is it like this? Let me closes his eyes like, Great job, detective, for losing sight of me and the kidnapper, and allowing my investigation to be hijacked. Sir, I look forward to your next month's salary assessment. But the case isn't lost yet, sir. I'm going to show you just how much of a man Dick Gumshoe can be. Shall I prepare the 21 gun salute now or later? Detective, are you sure it was the precinct you called for backup? Of course, sir. I think I would know the number to my own precinct like the back of my hand. Certainly hope so. There's not enough space. I love his point. It's so like, you. Then why did an Interpol agent show up instead, with an army of his own agents? That, I have no idea. About 5 minutes after I made the call, that Wolfman showed up out of nowhere, sir. Mr. Edgeworth, I was wondering if I may ask you about one thing, sir. Yes, what is it? What's that? You're over there, I mean.
I'm Mr. Edgeworth's assistant, Kay Faraday.
What? Funny, I don't recall ever making you my I'm Mr. Edgeworth's assistant, me! It's been like that since forever.
Sorry, but I just stole your supporting role.
How can you say something so serious with that giant grin on your face, pal? Mr. Edgeworth, we've got a thief on our hands, sir. She stole my role, sir. I'm taking her in, getting her convicted, making sure she serves out her sentence.
Oh, come on, it'll be fun. Like musical chairs. You better stay fast on your feet.
No, wait, I won't. I will not lose the spotlight to you, little girl. He is angry.
So what are you going to do about your investigation into the kidnapping?
Good question. Since Agent Lane holds the authority to investigate this case now, this makes things a bit more complicated.
Oh, come on, you can't just let that stop you. I haven't lent you a hand, so let's go.
But you're a self-purported great thief, are you not? I don't believe I can let someone of an unlawful nature participate in an investigation. It's more if she wishes to be unlawful, right? I mean, he's not wrong about not wanting her there, but she hasn't technically done anything wrong yet. I guess that's the point of using the word nature there.
You don't like to listen, do you? I'm not just any ordinary great thief. I'm
Oh God, that word.
I'm the Yatagarasu. And as I said earlier, the Yatagarasu is after one and only one thing, and that is the truth.
Could this town really be the successor to the original Yatagarasu? But that can't be, can it? Lance, where are you, son? I don't know who the fuck's this. Oh God. Mr. Amano?
Oh, Miles, my boy, I'm sorry to involve you in such an affair just after you've returned.
For you, Mr. Amano, I gladly offer my assistance. After all, I have you to thank for how well things turned out during my time abroad. If it wasn't for you, I might not have been introduced to that law office and had the chance to study the inner workings of another country's judicial system.
No. Think nothing of it. As you know, Manfred and I go way back. I consider the beloved disciple of his to be like one of my own blood. Pity he turned out to be a murdering psychopath. If you ever want to go overseas again, you need only to ask. I can use my company's vast network to send you anywhere at any time.
Who's the old man?
He is the father of the currently kidnapped Lance Armando. Ernest Armando.
Now then, have you found Lance yet, Miles? Please, I miss my poor boy dearly. So much that I want to count my money.
I'm terribly sorry, but your son's whereabouts remain unknown, Mr. Armando.
Well, hold on there. Then what happened to all that money?
I believe the 1 million has been stolen, and that the culprits are now on the run.
What?
Poor old man. Don't you have anything you could give him to cheer him up, Mr. Edgeworth?
I was wondering if you could please tell me the details of the kidnapping one more time.
Oh, it was yesterday. A call came to the house. From the receiver came the sound of my son. Help me, Daddy.
I know this is tough, but please stay with me here, Mr. Armando.
Why does he have the stacks just there? That seems incredibly stupid. It's like he's asking for his son to be kidnapped.
Fresh my memory. What kind of kid was Lance again?
How will telling you about Lance help you get him back?
Surprisingly, a lot can be deduced from a person's relationships and behavior.
Very well then. Lance is my one and only son, and he turned 21 this year. He's very much like me when I was his age, kind and very attractive. I'm sure women simply can't keep their hands off of him.
Is there anything else about him you noticed of late?
Now that you mention it, I haven't been able to get in contact with our butler, Oliver.
Your butler?
Yes, his name is Oliver Deacon. He's been with our family for years now. He gets along so well with Lance, so I thought maybe he would know where my son is.
Mr. Armando, can you please tell me a little more about your butler, Mr. Deacon?
As a butler, he's outstanding. He even serves as Lance's personal private tutor. He took a brief leave recently, but even after it was over, I haven't been able to reach him.
Well, you still haven't spoken with him since his leave? What about his family and friends?
They said they haven't seen him. Tried everything I could think of, Miles. You think this could have something to do with Lance's kidnapping?
Possible, but I can't say anything for sure quite yet. Even the person closest to the victim has gone missing. Oliver Deacon. Sounds like one name I'd better keep in mind. Detective Gumshoe. Yes, sir. Let's begin our investigation. Even if that Interpol agent holds the authority to head this investigation, we can't allow ourselves to stand idly by twiddling our thumbs. I'm with you 100%, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. I, Dick Gumshoe, pledge to stick by your side through thick and thin. Mr. Armando, it was my fault that the culprit escaped, which is why, with your blessing, I vow to return Lance to you myself.
Oh, I've never seen you so passionate before, Miles. Good luck to you, my boy.
All right, well, what are you waiting for? Let's do some investigating.
If you think I'm losing to you, pal, forget it. So what should we examine first? Well, somebody's gung-ho. Next, Agent Lang, we can't leave this area. The culprits were here until only very recently, which means we may be able to find some clues that will tell us how they escaped. Okay, let's get looking.
Hey, you there.
Who, me?
What are you doing goofing off in a place like this?
I wasn't goofing off. I was about to help Mr. Edgeworth kick off his investigation.
You imbecile! All precinct detectives are now under Agent Lane's direct command.
No way! I am not working for Wolf Boy. Mr. Edgeworth, can't you do something? Oh, darn. Looks like you'll have to go work for Lang instead. I'm not exactly in a position to argue, seeing as how you are a member of the police.
Good, now let's go.
No!
What have I got just the job for someone of your caliber? Intelligence, whatever.
Well, that was exciting.
Okay.
What? Can't you tell I'm all ready to get down to some detective work?
You should go home. Your parents must be worried about you.
Oh, come on. I finally get to be your assistant and you try to ditch me?
I don't recall offering you the position.
Huh. Why do you have to be so difficult? Because it's already too late, you know. Like I said, I've already stolen the position of assistant a while back.
Huh. You're the only one asserting that.
Well, by the time anyone notices, it's already gone. That's the Yatagarasu way.
You shouldn't speak so lightly of things you know nothing about.
Fine, whatever, you win. Go ahead and do your little investigation. But the talented assistant K is going to tag along no matter what you say.
Even if she turns out to be useless, she's not going to listen to me. I might as well surrender and let her come along for the ride.
Look, there's a burb about the cactus here. This cactus is a very gracious gift to Gaywater land from the local police precinct.
I can't believe the police went so far as to even donate a cactus to this place.
So is the police department running a cactus farm on the side? Ha, just kidding. They wouldn't do something so silly.
Actually, I have the vague impression I've seen a cactus farm at the precinct before. Okay, you monster. Let's discuss. I need to get ready for this. Alright, enough of this bullshit.
Hey, it's the Blue Badger!
What's she doing? She going to get her gun? Because that's what I'd be doing if I had one in my purse.
Badger, get!
Oh, she's actually doing the Chun-Li celebration.
Get that?
I really don't understand why she is so excited over this badger hunt. I mean, if it were a real badger hunt, I'd be more excited. Speaking of badgers, there's a person inside of there. Mr. Badger, I wonder if you might share with me what you saw. There's something so disturbing about that. He's doing that contorted wriggling dance again.
Aha!
It's some, like,
I wish to remain under that head, sir!
aren't you Officer Meekins?
He's just fucking annoying. I don't know how he can wear that hat under the mask. Be the Blue Badger for stream? Yeah, how about I just commit YouTube suicide? Oh, it was more like, Sir! Mike Meekins reporting for duty, sir! Something like, it was something closer to that. Oh god, that face. What is he so proud about? And when was he ever this tall?
Officer Meekins, why are you standing here wasting time?
Sir, because I'm not a police officer right now. Sir, I'm the Blue Badger. I'm creating memories and dreams for the kids. Yeah, they're dreams, all right. They just happen to not be of the positive kind. That's never a waste of time, sir. I have a dream to become as big as Detective Gumshoe, sir. What? As in, like, mass? Or, because we're not talking about reputation here, right?
So why exactly are you in that ridiculous outfit? That's the understatement of the century.
Sir, that's because, sir, I'm here to keep the visitors in good spirits, sir. But it's also to hide the fact that I'm an officer on the trail of a kidnapper, sir.
I see. Agent Lang is very wise to employ this sort of diversionary tactic.
To be handed the role of the Blue Badger out of all the different disguises, sir. It's such an honor. Wait, I thought he wasn't on the police force anymore. Did he get rehired?
How long have you been standing here, officer?
Sir, for about 1 little hour, sir. And I've been here ever since, sir.
If that's true, then it's possible Officer Meekins saw the kidnappers escaping.
However, sir, I must tell you I didn't see a thing, sir.
I haven't asked you anything yet, officer.
No, but I know you will, sir.
He's hiding something from me. I really could use those psycho locks right about now. Officer Meekins, I insist that you tell me more about your recent movement.
Sir, I've been playing the Blue Badger this whole time, sir. And getting into it, too. I patrolled the park, all while wearing this costume. About 1 hour ago, I came over here, sir. I haven't seen any suspicious-looking people this whole time, sir. But I did see a badger, sir, a lone Blue Badger.
What you said just now is contradictory to the facts.
How so, Mr. Edgeworth?
This is what Officer Meekins' testimony contradicts. He saw another Blue Badger? Because it's not a Blue Badger, right? It'd be a Proto Badger?
Take that!
Officer Meekins, let's back things up. I'd like to ask you about your latest statement.
Sir, of course, sir, if that's what you wish, Mr. Prosecutor. This little patrolman will wait as long as I am commanded to wait.
You said that you saw a Blue Badger, correct? And yet, if you take a look at this, what you saw was not supposed to happen. This park is supposed to have only one of each badger in at any given time. Which means that as long as you are the Blue Badger, Officer Meekins, you should not have seen another Blue Badger wandering the premises.
Oh, God. That was horrifying. What, sir? Then that would mean there are 2 Blue Badgers walking around, but why?
Second Blue Badger that shouldn't exist. Clearly the true identity of the person underneath is...
Oh, I know, it's one of the kidnappers, right? The person wore a costume to get away.
Precisely. After all, the costumes that went missing from the storage area are...
A Blue Badger, a Proto Badger, and a Bad Badger.
Yes, those 3.
So there are 3 phony badgers running around in the park somewhere, huh? Hey, there are a bunch of footprints in the mud over here.
I remember hearing rain fall out here while I was being held in there.
Yep, it was just a passing rain. That's why the ground is already pretty much dried up.
I should be thankful. Left us with some nice footprint samples.
You know what? I bet if we follow them, we can find out where the kidnappers went. Plus, we'd be able to spot them because of their muddy shoes.
I don't think it will be that easy.
Why not?
Look carefully. There are quite a few different sets here. We don't know which ones belong to the kidnappers.
Well, that's true. We don't know what kind of shoes they were wearing.
Don't we, though? Or are they gonna say, oh, look at these shoes? Now that we know that the kidnappers were wearing badger costumes, those footprints from earlier take on a new and very significant meaning.
Oh, you mean now that we know which tracks belong to the kidnappers, right?
Yes, more than shoe prints, we need to follow the paw prints of badgers.
Okay, Mr. Edgeworth, it's time to use those footprints and go badger hunting. So we're looking for footprints made by a costume. Hey, I think I found them. There are 2 sets here.
They both do look like possible candidates.
The set is walking off to the west. It just stops. I can't make heads or tail of where it's headed from here.
I think we can assume it's headed towards the stadium.
I wonder where the other set leads. This one seems to be headed east. Huh?
Oh, God.
Quick, Mr. Edgeworth, I've got him. I've got one of the culprits. No, I'm not a kidnapper, sir.
Down, Kay. Clearly those footprints belong to Officer Meekins. And our criminals were each wearing a costume.
Maybe they came over to this garage for something?
That's what I would suppose, Officer Meekins, if you could step aside for a moment. We need to examine the garage.
Sir, Roger Wilco, sir.
Let's open this shutter and see what we find. Oh, shit!
A body has been discovered!
What in the... Seem to have stumbled across a dead body. She must be in severe shock to have been the first to find it. Now then, who is this man?
It's Oliver!
Mr. Amano, are you saying that this man is... Yeah, so obviously, he looks like a fucking butler. I better investigate this crime scene quickly, before Agent Langer's new men return. Kidnapper's footprints lead right to this garage, and right to a dead body. Is it possible one of the kidnappers is now a murder victim? From my cursory examination, I believe this man died of a fatal bullet wound.
I suppose the game had to state that, but weren't we all aware of it?
From our cursory examination as well. I mean, I won't rest until I've...
Fuck, he keeps getting me with it.
This is an unusually shaped pendant.
What is it? Is it something valuable?
She seems to have regained some of her composure.
Looks like a horse pendant. It's got an antique feel about it, and it's really pretty. Hold on, this is made of platinum silver. Nice! It is worth something after all. Oh, and look, there's something written on the back. Colin Devore, it's a name.
Colin Devore? This man's name is... I'm no doctor, but let's see what I can piece together myself. There are 2 gunshot wounds, and one in his abdomen and one in his shoulder.
That means he was shot twice?
No, I don't think so. I think the abdominal one is an entry wound, and the one near his shoulder is the exit wound.
Wow, what an angle. Nice, I knew you could figure it out.
Comes with experience, and I've seen my share of crime scenes. Speaking of experience, this crime scene seems a bit too clean for a murder where the bullet went clean through. Should make a note of this oddity.
I was too worried about the body in the scene itself than just pointing out the contradiction of the name.
That makes sense. There's something not right about the name on the pendant. The victim is the Amano family butler, and his name is Oliver Deacon, but the name on the pendant is Colin Devore.
Wonder what's up with that?
I don't know, but I think we've hit upon an important piece of information.
That would have been a lot more straightforward if you could present profiles. Putting in the name with the crime scene photo is really weird. I eventually figured it out, but that wasn't intuitive. It would just be better if you could present profiles. That's why, you sweetie.
That is... Excuse me, but you are...
Oh, this is bad. He's really good looking. Ah, stop it, Lord. You can't let yourself fall for a playboy like him you're in love with. Sounds like someone doesn't know the meaning of the phrase inner monologue, huh?
Sorry to interrupt your conversation, but might you be a friend of Lance?
Yes, I'm Lance's girlfriend. My name is Lauren Pops. She has a ring pop on her hand?
His girlfriend?
Oh, it's not like that. We're more like friends and we're not lovers or anything. You just said you're... We haven't gotten that far yet. But I guess that's how people are gonna see it, so I should just accept it. I even got this ring as a present from Lance. Woo! You know what she reminds me of? A cartoon character.
Ugh. May I inquire as to why you were here?
I haven't been able to get into contact with Lance lately, and I began to get really worried. I looked everywhere for him, and then I heard about the kidnapping, so I came here. Oh, you're really strong for having made it through all this by yourself. Is it true? Has Lance really been kidnapped?
No one is supposed to know, but yes, it's true.
Oh, Lance! I can't believe you've been spirited away. I wonder how you're doing right now. Looks like she's gone back to the fair maiden in love routine. Oh, she was nice. She's probably the killer, right? Like, anytime I meet a fucking girl character that I enjoy, it's like they're the killer. Except for Maggie. And Lamoire, I suppose. So, Mr. Edgeworth, where do we go from here?
Well, we found a body, so we should look into the murder. Almost forgot about this douchebag.
My man brought me up to speed over the radio, and I have to say you really should have called. I heard you found something very intriguing.
I have nothing to hide, Agent Lang. It's exactly what you see before you.
I'll take it from here. Yeah, that guy's really dead. Bang. Hey, you waiting for an invitation? Hurry up and detain the suspect now.
Suspect? Oh my god. Are we going to get accused of murder again? Is this gonna happen every fucking case? Oh, okay, thank God. It's just Meekins. Oh, I thought you were gonna come and detain me.
Officer Meekins, is it? You're coming with us.
What, sir? I had nothing to do with it, sir. Agent Lang, don't you think you're being a bit rash? Do you even have a good reason to suspect Officer Meekins?
I'll leave that kind of stuff to you prosecutors. It's your job after all.
Oh, no. No. This is one of the most dog shit lines of reasonings I've seen in the entire series. I don't have to worry about what's correct, because that's your job. I can just arrest whoever the fuck I want for whatever the fuck reason I want. No! That's literally what probable cause is. You have to have a reason. This is terrible.
Leave it. Oh yeah, this dumbass line that threw you off on that entire tangent in the first place. I'm a fucking idiot. Like I said earlier, the crime scene isn't as forgiving as your precious courtroom.
That's your answer? Are you fucking kidding me?
I know you like your logic and reasoning, but that sort of impractical fluff is not needed out here in the field.
Oh my god. He is an official vigilante. He's a vigilante sanctioned by the government. Holy shit, is this dude awful. No respect for law, just about what he thinks should happen.
All you have to do is arrest suspicious person after suspicious person.
Can I arrest you for being suspicious?
That's how you eliminate crime from the streets.
That's also precisely how you unnecessarily arrest innocent people by mistake.
Innocent people? Nonsense. There's no such thing as an innocent person. We've all got a blemish or two in our hearts.
Oh, and that makes it okay to simply arrest anyone.
I heard that you dislike Seinfeld. Arrest him. He's under suspicion, arrested under suspicion of murder.
That's tyranny. Yeah, I won't allow such a thing to go on unchecked before my eyes.
Too bad you don't call the shots around here.
Wait. Oh, he's Interpol, that's right. I was gonna say, couldn't Edgeworth cut his salary? But he's not a detective with them, he's Interpol. Apparently Interpol just has a fucking hall pass to do whatever the fuck they want. As I have sworn to uphold the laws of this land, I cannot allow you to take this man in. That you would arrest a man on false charges without even conducting an investigation. Have you no honor as a member of law enforcement?
You, how dare you speak so disrespectfully to our Shifu? Hold it. You amuse me, Mr. Prosecutor. Lang Chi says, every pack has its own rules. You can play by their rules and come out on top. That is a true victory. All right, I'll give your beloved laws a fair shake.
Thank you. You're so gracious.
I'll show you just how much investigating I've done.
That is a finger and a half right there. His finger is thick.
Through my own line of logic, I've seen a lot of bodies like the one being carted off in my time. I can say he was shot in a single glance, but even you figured out that much, right? With your current gun laws, it's not exactly easy to get your hands on a gun. Not unless you're a member of law enforcement like Officer Meekins, isn't that right?
That is your reasoning?
Solid as a rock. It's based on the philosophy of detainment.
What's this philosophy of detainment? Smile.
You don't know, little girl? In that case, pay attention, girlie. In my country, the criminals have a saying, beware of the wolf.
And what country is he from?
Why the wolf?
Because in my language, lang means wolf. And you don't mess with me or my pack.
Is he Chinese? Is that what wolf means in Chinese? Lang?
Oh, that's right, he's from Changfa.
And as for the detainment philosophy, its father is my honorable ancestor, Lang Shi. Lang Zi developed it as he worked to lock criminals away thousands of years ago. To this day, the Changfa police still trains its recruits using his philosophies.
Thousands of years ago? That makes your story about as believable as a fairy tale.
Anything wears down and breaks over time. Wow, you two, woo, hitting them hard there. Do you really believe something as ancient as that can be applied to today's world?
You want to put it to a test?
All right, you piece of human garbage. Bring it. This is probably the face I hate the most. I fucking, it's so just like crooked smile, like his shrug looks gross. I just always hated this fucking, but it's funny whenever he shook his head. It would appear you've studied a little of our laws.
Studied? Who needs to study what every child on any street corner already knows? It's that. Sheena!
The Federal Firearms Restriction Act.
That's it. The Federal Firearms Restriction Act. I hear it's not easy to get a gun these days.
Interesting. That woman is the one in charge of keeping track of the information.
Hold it!
If that's the case, there are plenty of other officers who might be potential suspects. You're not seriously going to arrest each and every one of them, are you?
As if I would need to.
Well, why not? Everybody has their own little blemish.
I've already looked into everyone else here.
Oh?
Other than Officer Meekins, I know no one else's weapon has been fired.
Did you check every single person's weapon in such a short span of time?
Because each and every one of my subordinates is extremely capable. Didn't take more than a few minutes to conduct the entire investigation.
Power of sheer numbers. But you have yet to check Officer Meekins' weapon, correct?
Thanks for reminding me. Hey you, show me your gun.
Oh! What's wrong? Why does he look so sickly pale all of a sudden? Gun!
What'd you say? I can't hear you. Stop mumbling and spit it out already.
Sir! I lost my gun, sir! How could you be so irresponsible?
In the end, it looks like you're still the only suspect we've got. You're the one who waited here outside this garage here to ambush and kill the victim.
So you think that Officer Meekins waited here to kill the victim, do you, Lang? I think this little accusation deserves a lot more scrutiny. Unfortunately for you, Agent Lang, that is simply not possible.
What do you mean?
You've seen the crime scene for yourself, and while you were looking, did you not think to yourself that it was a little too clean?
Oh yeah!
So you did notice that there was too little blood. Do you still wish to claim that Officer Meekins committed the murder here? Because this isn't the crime scene, and if it was your men who led you to thinking it was, then I suggest you leave this case to the local police to set the record straight.
Good. Not bad. I see your logic can be just as sound as mine.
More sound?
In that case, let me ask you this. Don't you think it's weird that officer was hanging out around here in the first place?
Weird, how so?
Hey you, your squad's not even supposed to be in this area, right? What were you thinking, neglecting your duties and loafing around here? Don't you dare give me some lame excuse like I found myself taking a walk.
But sir, I really did take a walk, sir.
You're a disgrace. How dare you take your packed obligations so lightly?
Officer Meekins is looking extra meek. Is he hiding somewhere? I wonder if I could see his psycho locks. Mr. Andrews, please, sir! Say me the way you did earlier, please, sir! Officer Meekins, please give us a detailed account of what happened. Sir, not you too! Oh god, those eyes. Not exactly the showdown of the century. It's true, sir. I wasn't assigned to this area, sir. I was told to come check every square inch of the main gate area, sir. I also went looking for the kidnappers while selling dreams in the Blue Badger mobile, sir. But I got completely caught up in my role, selling dreams to the children, sir. Before I knew it, I found myself here in this area, sir. What is this Blue Badger mobile? It's a moving store on wheels that sells sweet dreams and merchandise, sir. So the Blue Badger mobile is just a roaming souvenir shop? Sir, I swear I was chasing the kidnappers down while I was being a good dream merchant. He seems rather worked up, even more than his usual hyperactive self. He sure does seem sure of what he's saying. Can you try to calm down and lower your voice to a more reasonable level, officer? You're at about an 11. I need you at about a 6. Yeah, I was gonna say, selling dreams, children, like he's not.
Hold it!
How'd you wind up all the way over here? I was in the middle of a sea of kids, sir. But one of the kids decided to challenge me to a fight, sir. I had to run away from the child's painful drop kicks, and before I knew it. Good old drop kick. I dished out my fair share of those when I was a kid. It was always the best when you felt one really connected with your opponent. In any case, you wound up here for a reason completely unrelated to the investigation. Sir, that's right, sir. That's not something you should be admitting to with your head held high, officer. Sounds like you simply forgot about his real job and became the Blue Badger. However, there's one flaw in Officer Meekins' story. I have the feeling that he'll need some prodding before he'll spill the beans.
Objection!
Officer Meekins, I would appreciate it if you didn't tell such transparent lies. Sir, I'm lying, sir? Yes, you are. You were really out there selling dreams with the Blue Badger mobile until recently. Then what is it doing here inside the garage? Ah! Actually, I had just lost track, sir. Lost track of what? By the time I realized it, the Blue Badger mobile was nowhere to be found, sir. Which would mean it was perhaps stolen? That's when I came back to this area thinking maybe it was in the garage, sir. Sounds like they just put it back where it belonged. You call it stealing? Well, that's when you found me, Mr. Edwards, sir.
A likely story. Who do you think is going to buy such a convenient take as that?
What exactly is so convenient about his story?
The car getting stolen's completely unbelievable even for a cover story. But I think we can assume the car was used all right to move the dead body.
What?
You killed the victim at some distant location, Officer Meekins, and then you used the Blue Badger mobile to transport it all the way here. Now then, you're coming with me.
It wasn't me, sir. The killer, sir. It wasn't me, sir. Agent Lang, wait.
What do you want now?
We still don't know where the real scene of the crime is. You can't say we know all the facts of this case, let alone the truth.
I told you, truth smooth. I couldn't care less.
Well, fucking at least you can say that correctly. Because if you dropped a I could care less, we would be done with this stream for the day. My brain would have exploded.
Our job is to catch the crook. You'll find out your precious truth after we arrest this guy and take him in. That's the job of you prosecutors in your fancy courtrooms with your logic. Your fancy pants logic. As for us, we don't have that kind of time to waste.
You boorish buffoon. Yeah, I can't disagree.
I think you need to leave.
What?
We need to get the body to autopsy and you guys are getting in the way.
You would interfere with another one of my investigations?
Hey now, let's not forget who holds the actual authority to conduct investigations here. I'm afraid the one doing the interrupting is you, my ignorant pretty boy. Oh, now be a good fancy boy and get out of my sight if you don't. You gonna take this thick old finger right up your fucking nostril, into your brain, through your cerebellum, and out the other side through that pretty little hair of yours. Or I'll just arrest you for obstruction of justice. That's fine too.
Chased out like a pair of peasants.
Mr. Edgeworth,
Yes, Kay?
there's something even thieves should never steal. You know what that is?
You really shouldn't steal anything. However, I'll bite. What shouldn't a thief steal? The truth.
Oh, fair. Dunk on me, I guess.
A life. It's too heavy of a burden on your soul to get away with, ever.
That's something we can agree on. Well said, Kay. No matter what we may try, murder is the one crime that can never truly be hidden. And I intend to prove that by my own hands. When I apprehend the murderer myself.
Alright, and I'm gonna work extra hard to be a good assistant. Let's go!
Still never said she could be my assistant. I'm just going to drop the issue. I'll just use her as my pawn. The first thing we should do is locate the real scene of the murder.
Mr. Edgeworth!
Oh, great. Detective Gumshoe.
Mr. Edgeworth, the stadium! Hurry, sir! This is supposed to be hush-hush, but they found a witness at the stadium.
A witness?
You, what did we tell you about leaving your assigned post? Ah, the jig is up. Mr. Edgeworth, remember that I'm always rooting for you, so go get him, sir!
Those detectives sure look like they're enjoying themselves.
Not all fun and games, Kay. Well, for them it might be. Now then, let's head to the stadium and meet this witness.
Oh, it's the Pink Badger mobile.
I thought there was a witness here.
Yeah, I don't see anyone.
Oh, her cute little hat! Oh, it's adorable!
Mr. Edgeworth, long time no see!
Oh, is that where Phoenix got his pin?
Huh. I stole this from Phoenix. Shh. Don't tell him. The fool.
Can't believe you remember me, Mr. Edgeworth.
Of course I do. How have you been? You look to be in good spirits. Are you still studying abroad?
You bet. More than anything, I want to investigate crime scenes scientifically. I've been studying nonstop every day to become a top-notch forensic scientist. But it's spring break now, so I thought I'd come back for a bit.
I almost didn't recognize you. You've really grown in these past few years.
Please don't tease me, Mr. Edgeworth. I know I still have a long way to go. I'm going to be a super forensic scientist someday, you'll see. You seem to know Mr. Edgeworth really well. Are you two acquaintances?
Oh god, this is gonna be...
Oh, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Emma Sky. Nice to meet you. I'm studying abroad now to be a forensic scientist. How about you? Well, that's a great dream. My name's Kay Faraday, and I'm training to become an unstoppable great thief. A great thief? Yeah.
Don't think too hard on it, Emma. It's not worth the trouble. In any case, we have much to catch up on.
You bet we do.
So, why are you here, Emma?
Well, I just happened to decide to come back home for a spring break, and then I heard that you'd come back too, so I raced on over here. I'd really wanted to welcome you back at the airport, but I had just missed you.
And how, I was just gonna say, and how the fuck did you know I was here? That's not weird at all.
Through the power of science, naturally. Never underestimate what science can do for you. I used these to track your footprints, and
Oh, okay. Pretty sure that's not okay.
This set is the greatest. It's so wonderfully scientific. You spray this chemical on the ground, and when you shine the special light on it, zing! The footprints light up like an electrified noble gas in a gas glass tube. It's almost like magic, scientifically speaking.
Are you not the witness Detective Gumshoe told us about?
Well, I did get a call from Detective Gumshoe earlier. He's practically yelling at me.
Why does Detective Gumshoe have your fucking phone number? Mr. Edgeworth, need your scientific doohickeys right now, pal, he said.
What was that man thinking? Or rather, not thinking?
So let me guess, there's been a murder, right?
Yes, unfortunately. The sun glints in her eyes. But I need to keep my mind focused on the witness. Now, where did that person go?
Oh, hey, it's the Pink Badger. Badger, get! Yeah!
Badger, 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 badger.
Badger, 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 badger.
Why do you have handcuffs on your wrists? I'm sorry, I'm not into this kinky shit. I mean, I have my own kinks, just not anything that involves lock and key.
I think this badger has something to say to you, Mr. Edgeworth.
Are you, by chance, the witness I've been searching for? That doesn't answer my question in the fucking slightest. Sorry, but I don't speak badger dance. Please let us do an interrogation or whatever with them only doing dances and we have to press them on it. Where are we in stream? Is it time to end? I was not ready for this. I can't take previous stuffy head anymore. You're... No! Why her? Why here? Why now? I can actually put my real emotion into this. Do not ever give me that look again in your goddamn life. Angie Pooh? Why couldn't you understand what I was trying to tell you? I mean, really. I was trying so hard to keep the kids' dreams alive by staying in character, but you wouldn't pick up on that if I was trying to convey to you. I'm sick and tired of a roundabout way of doing it, so I'm just going to be direct. I had a bad feeling before this just made it official. Today has gone beyond the typical not my day into the realm of waking nightmare.
So you're a friend of Mr. Edgeworth too, Miss Pink Badger?
You can say that, but right now I'm just a big badger, dearie. I may not look the part, but I know better than to trust my eyes around this woman. My name is Wendy Oldbag, but you can call me Wendy or Granny or whatever suits your fancy.
How about annoying? I'm just kidding. Nice to meet you, Miss Oldbag. I'm Kay Faraday.
What do I care about a young whippersnapper like you?
Yeesh, I was just trying to be polite. Like, seriously, you were so nice and now you're being mean to me. Like, what kind of fucking mood disorder is that? You should really get that checked out, because that's really fucking rude.
God, I hate Oldbag.
Does she play her part well? Yes. That's why I don't put her in low tier. That's why I put her in mid tier. I can't stand her fucking guts, but I think she does what she's supposed to do. I get called in all the time to fill in when there aren't enough hands. But enough about me, Angie Pooh. I'm thoroughly dejected right now. I finally get the chance to see you again. Here you are talking with two young girls. Better all the same. It doesn't matter how they with young girls. Why, just the other day, I happened to notice me when you went to marry the... Whoa! Ooh, back it up, back it up, back it up. What did she say happened? Did I see the number 15 and marriage? They have not progressed her character. I agree. She hasn't grown at all. She's the same fucking person. At least like Gumshoe, like, dude's a moron. But we see his growth, right? Like, he gets better still. Like, he still is, I'm a lovable idiot sort of thing, but like, he has growth. Oldbag has nothing. She's the same. I saw what happened. Fuck. I even saw the exact moment it happened. How's that? God damn it. So it's true, she is the witness. Ah!
Oh, I don't suppose I can afford to ignore the old bag. Yes, it was just a little while ago. I saw it happen right in front of me. The moment of the murder. You mean to say that you witnessed someone being killed right before your eyes?
Sounds like a pretty important piece of testimony to me.
Give me the side eye, are you fucking kidding me? I happened to the stadium to take a short break. As I was resting, I happened to glance over and I saw two men facing each other in that area. Suddenly there was a loud gunshot and the person who was shot fell to the ground. It was a very terrifying experience, let me tell you.
Looks like we hit the jackpot, huh, Mr. Edgeworth?
Yes, I can't afford to ignore what she has to say, unfortunately. What's that unfortunately you tacked on at the end? That's supposed to be Edgy Peru?
Well, anyway, let's see what we can find out from this little old lady.
I just let you outside. You don't have to go out. Oh. Her spot is the neck. She just wants you to itch her neck. That's her, like, that's her thing. So just comes and presents it. You saw two men? Can you describe them for me? You saw two men? Can you describe them for me? They look like your average Joes. Completely uninteresting and not worth fawning over. I'm telling you, they were so boring that I don't even remember much beyond that. But did they have any special features? Anything you can recall would be very helpful. Oh my, don't tell me you're jealous of those two men.
Hey, she's right. You do seem pretty worked up over them, Mr. Edgeworth.
I'm not worked up over anyone, and I'm not jealous. It's alright, Edgy Poo. Those two are just foals compared to a stallion like you. I thought so little of them that I lost interest the instant I laid eyes on them.
You're claiming to have seen the exact moments in which the murder took place?
Absolutely, that gun made a terrible racket when it was fired.
You didn't try to go help the person that got shot? Smile.
I'm only one person, you smart alecky brat. What could I have done? I took off as soon as I could to find someone who could help.
2 men, 1 bullet. It's all consistent with what we found out from the body. Sadly, there wasn't exactly a lot of new information to go on in your testimony.
Well, if I saw the guy again, I'm sure I could identify him for you. I mean, how do you expect me to remember anything without something to jog my memory?
Self-centered, aren't we?
While it was somewhat useful, her testimony also presents us with a new problem.
Mr. Edgeworth!
Yes?
So about this new problem,
What is that giant grin on your face for?
you want me to show you something really nice?
No, thank you.
Don't be so mean. I swear it's something you're gonna like.
What is that gadget you're holding? What is that contraption? It seems to have numbers and a screen on it. It couldn't be a phone. I've seen too many of those in my time as a prosecutor.
The only thing that could have made him sound older is, say, something like automated or like electronic something. What you see before you is the secret weapon of a great thief.
I should have known it would be worthless.
Aw, don't be like that. Teehee. Hem. What do you think now?
I'm going to shit myself. It's projecting something into the air.
I'm going to input the necessary information to run the simulation now. Once I'm done, I'll increase the size of the projection and its maximum size. Dark skies of evening, when no other bird dares take wing, one alone remains all-seeing. Now, witness the true power of a real modern-day Robin Hood.
What is this? I feel the same way he does.
This is a recreation of the murder based on the info I inputted into Little Thief.
Little Thief? I dare say I think you're taking the Robin Hood thing a bit too far.
Little Thief is actually meant to be a simulator for me to plan my thefts.
Okay, come on guys. We as a collective here can almost certainly come up with a significantly better means for this technology to be used, right? That would actually benefit mankind in a significant way instead of her just using them to plan her petty thefts.
Let's see, Miss Oldbag said that the 2 men were facing each other, and then a gunshot rang out. The victim fell to the ground.
Ah, so with this, we can inspect the crime scene as it was in the past, except for their, like, default characters.
See? So what do you think?
This is fucking ridiculous. I have to say I'm impressed by the technology thieves have access to these days. More than the police, apparently.
Well, it is the super...
Yeah, okay, whatever, indeed.
Oh, but if there isn't enough information, or if something's out of place, the recreation could come out a little strange.
In other words, I can use this to authenticate the validity of a witness's testimony?
You got it! You really catch on quick, Mr. Edgeworth.
Right now, this simulation is a recreation of that witness's testimony. Though for now, I should re-examine everything. If I find anything illogical or strange, I can then ask for clarification.
Feel free to examine anything in this simulation the way you always do. You can even present evidence when you find a contradiction.
To who?
If you find something, I've got Little Thief with me, so you can just let me know, okay?
Emma's just sitting there like, this is standard. Looks like they broke the walls down!
I guess this means that they're done for the day.
Or maybe it's because a different show is scheduled to start its run tomorrow. Or maybe because there was a fucking murder that just happened here. It's the silhouette of the killer with his gun at the ready. Hey, is it not possible to recreate the face of the killer?
Well, I can't exactly input what we don't know into Little Thief.
He has a point. According to the testimony, the victim fell to the ground here.
That's right, but why?
But if that's the case, then we've already found our first contradiction.
Huh? What? Where?
If this is the real scene of the crime, there's something missing that should be here. Blood? Which piece of evidence shows the missing item? Isn't it just blood? If this is the real scene of the crime, something specific should be here. If you think back, how did we deduce that the other crime scene was not the real one?
Oh, I get what's missing now. There's no blood on the ground here either, right?
Right. The fact that there is no blood here casts doubt on the witness's testimony.
Edgy Poo, how can you doubt me like that? Are you calling me a liar? I know what I saw, and I saw the victim get shot down.
You know, I don't think she's lying, Mr. Edgeworth.
To be honest, I can't think of a reason why she would lie to me. In that case, maybe there is another explanation for the distinct lack of blood. Oh, the victim was in a costume.
it says that there. That's what I said last time. Is it not possible that the victim was wearing a costume? He could have been wearing it back at the other place though too then. Do you really think that Mr. Deacon was one of the kidnappers?
I think we can reasonably assume there is a very good chance that he was. And that if he was shot while he was inside of one of those stolen costumes.
Then Mr. Deacon's blood would be inside the costume instead of on the ground.
Precisely. Now if only we could prove that the victim was wearing a costume.
You'd think it'd be pretty easy if we could find some footprints. The problem is finding them, since there doesn't seem to be any around.
Footprints, huh? I wonder how we can go about finding some of those things. Emma, about that method you were talking about for finding footprints.
Finally my expert knowledge in forensic is needed.
Can you detect and trace even partial footprints?
Leave it to me. My cutting edge detection kit can find anything.
Very well. If you could please analyze the footprints in this area.
Okay, stand back now and witness the power of science at work. Hey, I found something! Look right there!
I don't see anything.
Oh, that's right. Here, put these special glasses on, Mr. Edgeworth.
Oh God, please show Edgeworth with the glasses on. Please. That's all I want today. Just that one thing. Please, just that one thing. These footprints were definitely left by a badger costume.
Judging by the way the prints are layered, those seem to be the newest.
Then we can conclude that the victim was definitely wearing a costume at the time.
Okay, in that case, I'll update Little Thief simulation parameters. I can't wait to see what we find out with this new info. The badger is dead. The badger is dead.
I see the recreation has changed in accordance with the new information. We may be closer, but now something else has caught my attention.
What do you want? Where did that come from all of a sudden? The fuck do you want?
Your testimony, naturally. I'd like to hear it one more time, if you please. Giving me the side eye.
Didn't she say they were nondescript people? How the fuck would she get it wrong that one dude was in a costume? It's not that she didn't mention the costume, it's that she explicitly stated that she saw two average-looking Joes. She affirmatively contradicted the idea of there being a costume. Unless she thinks the Blue Badger is an average Joe. That's like the difference between omission, just simply not telling us that information, versus she told us something that is a direct contradiction.
Objection!
Two men? How did you know the gender of the two people involved, seeing as how the victim was wearing a costume at the time? Furthermore, I have another matter I'd like to inquire about. I'd very much like to know why you failed to mention the costume in your testimony. I'm beginning to doubt if you really witnessed the murder at all. I'm telling you, I really did see it. I saw it with my own eyes. From a seat in the second tier. The second tier?
Hey, didn't you say you saw right in front of you earlier?
That was, you know, I mean, technically they were in front of me, just not right in front of me. That was, you know, just using the phrase in the metaphorical sense. Yeah. Huh, I see our witness still has a screw loose in the metaphorical sense. Cushy seats in the second tier reserved for hotshot VIPs, which is exactly why I go there now to get to take a nap.
I can't see how you could have gotten a good look from there. It's so high up.
Were you able to see even the victim's costume from way up there?
Well, I know I saw two people, but I couldn't really see what they looked like because they were in the stage's shadow. My eyesight isn't what it used to be, you know. Not like when I was young and people could spot a good man for a 100-yard course, they'd notice me in a fence and even the game's like, nah, we done with this. Thanks to you, I'm able to proceed with my investigation once again. Thank you.
I was nothing. I'm just glad that science and I could be of service.
Pretty amazing how we could see the footprints. So what's the secret behind that thing? This thing, I want to know what the fuck the secret is behind your gadget. Jesus Christ. Oh, you want to know? Here, you can read the manual. Aha, very interesting. So if I do this, I can avoid leaving footprints.
She can't seriously be trying to use the information to her advantage as a thief. Wait! If that woman's testimony is to be believed, the murder occurred before the stage was broken down.
Do you want me to input that bit of info into Little Thief?
Yes, if you please.
Okay.
Well, that's something. There is clearly
The contradiction here.
Please stop stealing my lines.
Oh, come on. It wasn't that hard to see it coming even from a layman like me.
Who calls themselves a layman? That's really interesting. The only people I've ever heard use that term are the people that aren't laymen. I suppose, in any case, it's not possible for the killer to have stood here in that way, because there was a very real stage set up in this spot at the time.
Well, where was the entry? He would have had to have shot him. He would have had to have been standing on the stage, shot downward through the shoulder would have been the entry wound then, and out the abdomen, which means he would have had his back turned to him. Isn't it obvious? The killer is on top of the stage naturally. Right, Miss Oldbag?
Yes, I remember now. The killer is standing on top of the stage.
See? Now let me update the info in the simulation.
It's not complete.
Well, what do we have? What have we here? Bunch of hooligans running amok, I see.
Agent Lang, how nice of you to join us.
Well, I can't have you going around messing up my crime scenes.
Agent Lang, we discovered that the real scene of the murder is here, the stadium.
I see, thanks.
For what?
I'm just trying to show you my appreciation for all the time you saved me. Who knew that such a strange little toy could recreate a crime scene like that?
Little Thief is not a toy.
You two.
Sir.
There you have it. You see, big boys like me don't need silly toys, little girl. Now this is a recreation.
So what? Do you still intend to assert that Officer Meekins is the killer?
Of course. Even knowing that the crime took place here doesn't let him off the hook. This is the real scene of the crime. Officer Meekins lay in wait for the victim on top of the stage. And when the victim finally showed, he shot him from on high. That's the truth your little recreations showed.
How far will you go to accuse Officer Meekins of the crime?
He's the most likely suspect we've got, especially given the situation with this gun.
Well, even if he is the killer, at least my recreation was on the mark.
You see? Thank you for understanding, my little cowgirl. I'm not some common crow.
I'm the Yatagarasu, the Raven of Legend.
Unfortunately, your conclusion has yet to be tested, so let's see how well it holds up. Lying in wait, how did Officer Meekins even know the victim was going to come here?
Simple, he was investigating the kidnappers, right? While he was doing so, he came to understand the victim, Mr. Deacon's movements.
Why would the good officer want to ambush and kill a kidnapper?
You mean his motive? Who knows and who cares? You can find that out for yourself when you talk to him in jail.
You have no respect for the order of law.
Don't get me wrong, but I need more than there's no motive to convince me otherwise.
He's right. The lack of a motive is a rather weak argument by itself.
So the officer lay in wait, top of the stage.
So you honestly believe that what you're saying is what really occurred?
Hey, you're the one who came up with the scenario. Are you saying you doubt yourselves?
Touché. Unfortunately, Agent Lang's conclusions do not contradict with our recreation.
Then does that mean it all went down just as he says?
No, not quite. I wonder if what we had recreated earlier was the whole truth? I'm terribly sorry, Agent Lang. I should have warned you that our recreation is incomplete. You cut in quite unexpectedly, after all.
What's that supposed to mean?
You said that the victim was shot by the killer from up above, correct? I hate to break it to you, but that's not possible.
Oh, why not?
Recall Mr. Deacon's body, specifically where the gunshot wounds were located.
Actually, I didn't get that good of a look.
Oh, well then, the bullet entered Mr. Deacon in his abdomen region and exited his right shoulder. This is more consistent with an angled shot from beneath the victim. Yes, our recreation had the victim being shot at an angle from above.
A clear contradiction!
You're discounting your own conclusions?
No, this one point is the only flaw. This was the mistake parameter in our recreation. Yes, the locations of the killer and the victim were wrong.
I get it. I see what you're trying to say.
I believe the killer and the victim were standing opposite to what we initially thought. It was the victim who was on the top of the stage as he was being shot by the killer. If this is what happened, it also explained the positioning of the gunshot wounds.
But then, what about the footprints?
Since the footprints don't lie, we can assume then that the killer also wore a costume.
Okay, I'll try using that data instead.
Judging by the fact that both the killer and the victim were wearing costumes, I'd say it was a killing between the two kidnappers. That would be the most natural conclusion. Wouldn't you agree, Agent Lang?
Well done, Mr. Prosecutor. But that alone doesn't clear Officer Meekins of the crime. I ask that you take another good look at the tire marks over there. 3 marks are indicative of the Blue Badger mobile. That story Officer Meekins told about that shop on wheels getting stolen was just a lie. He drove the Blue Badger mobile here and committed the murder. Then he used the car to move the body to the garage in the Wild Wild West area.
You believe he moved the body with the car?
That's right. It was Officer Meekins himself who pointed us to the way he did it.
The three-tired tread marks are very telling. However, is the Blue Badger mobile the only thing capable of creating such a pattern?
That and it's here. Wouldn't it have been over there with Meekins if he used it?
3 tire marks. I have to agree that the Blue Badger mobile has 3 tires.
Of course, the only thing in this park that could make those tires is that roving shop.
Are you forgetting that there are in fact 3 of them? You can't simply ignore the pink and the Proto Badger mobiles, Agent Lang.
Of course, I didn't say it couldn't be either of the other 2, but I see no reason to drag them into this just to complicate things. That'd be too complicated to think about further possibilities.
Of course, you have some sort of proof that it was all a lie, correct?
Of course not.
Well, that was blunt.
But suppose it is a lie, and it would explain a lot of things, like his movements and his whereabouts.
Sorry, Agent Lang, but that's an impossible tale.
And why is that?
Those tire marks could not have been left by Officer Meekins' Blue Badger mobile. One look at the car would have told you so. What proves that the Blue Badger mobile never had the something? Wow, I said that really fast. Take a good look at the tires. There's not a single dollop of mud to be found on it. Ugh. If this car had come to the backstage area and left those tire tracks, then the lack of mud on these tires stand out as very peculiar indeed.
Then how do you explain the tire tracks, genius?
Hey, I've got it. What about Miss Oldbag's pink Badger mobile?
Don't be so ridiculous. I was sleeping the entire time in the second-tier seats. Indeed, I believe we can rule her out as someone related to the crime. However, there's yet one more roving store, as I recall.
Oh, you mean the Proto-Badger, the Badger of Death, the devil himself.
That's right, there was one more parking space inside that garage. And it proves the existence of a Proto-Badger mobile. Agent Lang, I suggest you find this Proto-Badger mobile post-haste. There must still be some sort of incriminating evidence in it. Ugh.
Hey, did you hear something?
Help me.
Are you alright?
Well, this is something. Looked like we just found our kidnapping victim. Where were you all this time?
Wild West with kidnappers.
He was in the room next to the one I was held in?
Ran away using underground and got lost. The kidnappers.
What is it? I couldn't hear what you were trying to. I can't understand what you were trying to say.
The kidnappers escaped wearing costumes.
Did you see the faces of your kidnappers?
No, I didn't see their faces, but one was a woman.
A woman?
Quite an important piece of testimony. Hey, what are you guys doing? Stop staring there and get your cops on this already. I'll even let you guys have what the kid said just now. Consider it a gift. Now, are you gonna get out of my crime scene, or am I gonna have to get rough?
Again?
You're nothing but a big bully. Come on, Mr. Edgeworth, let's go.
Oh, no, not you. You're a very important witness for my case. I'm not about to let you get away that easily.
Don't count on me to testify because I won't. Not for you.
That's right, I won't either. You hear me, you young whippersnapper? That could lead to contempt of court.
Hey, calm down. There's no need for all this hostility. I just want to take a statement from each of you. I'm not going to rough either of you up. I give you my word. Come now, fair maidens. What do you say? Will you cooperate?
Fair maidens? Oh, why, you little rascal, you sure know the way to a woman's heart.
Lang Z says, passage of time is but a fleeting moment, and a lady is young forever.
Try and outdo my entry pool with your fancy schmancy sayings. Let's get this over with so we're clear. I'm only interested in giving you my statement.
Sure, just as soon as Mr. Prosecutor leaves us be.
Mr. Edgeworth!
Sorry, gotta go.
If you're a defendant and you don't want to say anything to incriminate yourself, you have that right. If you're subpoenaed as a witness and you refuse to testify, yeah, you can be found in contempt of court. It's like we got the boot again.
With Lance safe, the focus of the investigation will shift solely onto the murder.
You mean the infighting between the kidnappers?
Yes, and also the identity of the remaining kidnapper.
Fuck, what voice did I give him?
Tell me it's true. Tell me that you've really found my boy.
Yes, Mr. Romano, we found him earlier in the stadium.
Then my little Lance is unhurt?
He's not exactly the picture of perfect health, but his life is not in danger. He's being questioned right now by Agent Lang.
Poor Lance, it must be so horrible. It's been so horrible for him. Locked up like a...
I'll just, leave you to be. Alright, so apparently there's something at the front gate.
But Daddy, I don't want to go!
Is this the same badger from the police station?
Why is there a blue badger here too?
Are you deathly allergic to him or something?
It's not that it's more the half smile on his face. It's really unsettling.
She's disturbed by the half smile? I'm more disturbed by its movements and how it managed to obstruct an investigation.
This guy looks like, what's his face? He probably he's probably balding, but it also kind of looks like it could be blonde. So he could be the victim from the, 2-1? 2-1. Yeah, 2-1. But he obviously couldn't be him. That guy's dead by this point.
This man looks suspiciously like the precinct.
Oh, that's the chief.
Oh, that lovely smile on the blue badger's face.
It's looking at me, making stuff. It's scary.
It's all right, dear. You want to know something? I was the one who created the blue badger. See, look at his eyes. Don't they look just like Daddy's?
Oh, God.
It's scary. It's scary because they do look like yours, Daddy.
Well, that was rather depressing. I think I'd better leave the two of them alone.
Go farther right, like actually off the bridge, or to the bridge. Oh. What the fuck?
They say that couples who cross this bridge together will find happiness, or so the Gatewater Lamp pamphlet says.
But you'd think that they'd already be happy because they were able to come together.
Logistics aside, I wonder who came up with this tale and when. This bridge doesn't look old enough to be the stuff of legends.
Well, some things are better left uninvestigated, don't you think? Ignorance is bliss.
Speaking of ignorance is bliss.
I guess. They're still together. They're all still together at this point, right? Why does... Oh no, he has two paddles. It's like, why does he only have one paddle? But like, what is he doing? I guess he might be turning one? To be fair, I mean, I don't think there's enough room on that boat for both of them to row anyways. I mean, I'm really interested in seeing what happens with, what happened with Maya during all that time. Obviously, we'll find out.
How's my boy? I can't thank you enough.
It was nothing. Like, I literally didn't do anything. He just kind of showed up.
I'm still in shock over what happened to Oliver.
Are you counting that money to give to me, or nope, you're still talking?
The way Lance is being chased after by women reminds me of someone I know. I almost can't believe you received yet another love letter, you know? Here, take a look for yourself.
Isn't this a breach of confidentiality?
Viola!
It's a very simple love letter.
Oh, hey, let me see. That's really weird. It's from a loan company. Tender lender. Oh my god. He's gonna die. He's gonna die. She's gonna kill him. Oh, this wasn't even the worst kidnapping he'll endure during this season. Nope, I don't think that's a love letter. Whew. Hell, the kidnappers might have saved him if she was coming after him instead. It looks more like a collection bill to me.
He loves me not. He loves me not. Oh, that's the 12th one. No, you can't give up, Lauren. Just one more try.
Excuse me, but I can't help but feel a bit sorry for all the flowers you've gone through.
I suppose, if they were me then.
I believe you said that you are Lance's girlfriend when we first met, correct?
Yes, I am, but oh, it's not like we both think of each other as lovers. But he did give me this ring, so I guess we're not friends either.
I mean, because this isn't just any ordinary ring. No, it's not. No, it's not.
It tastes so sweet when you lick it.
Oh, it's so wonderful.
So which is it? Have you guys not decided if you're going out? Or is it just one-sided?
Decided? Shouldn't the parties involved naturally just know?
My father used to work for Mr. Armano. And so Lance and I grew up together. I said it out loud.
I don't see how that's anything to be embarrassed about. So your father was an employee of the Amano Group? What did he do?
I heard his job was to fly around the world on Pegasus.
Pegasus?
Oh, Pegasus is the name of the airplane. The airplane belonged to the company.
You had me there for a second.
But now it's all changed. My father, he isn't around anymore. Oh, I see. About 10 years ago, he rode in Pegasus off to somewhere and never returned.
Riding Pegasus to whereabouts unknown. Whereabouts unknown. Sounds like the stuff legends are made of.
It's been so long, I don't think I'd recognize him if we were to ever meet again. I'm so sorry, Lauren, but I won't give in to the sadness. I have to live. Yes, Lauren, live.
How did you come to know that Lance had been kidnapped?
Oh, that's because of my woman's intuition.
You based everything on that?
I know everything when it comes to my Lance. It's really strange. It really must be destiny.
She started fantasizing again.
So what are you gonna do now, Mr. Edgeworth?
We already established that there is a good chance that the killer is the other kidnapper. It's my duty to figure out who this other person is. I believe there is one location that might hold a clue or two. The obvious location is the kidnapper's hideout.
We're still not allowed in, remember?
Agent Lang and his men should be done with this area. In that case, there is no harm in asking that officer over there to let us in. What do you have to report?
Sir, nothing unusual or out of the ordinary, sir.
Where have I heard such redundancy before? Is it possible for you to let us take a look around inside?
Sir, roger, sir.
Are you certain? Didn't Agent Lang order you not to allow me in?
Sir, that's true, sir, but Detective Gumshoe asked me to personally let you in, sir. I couldn't refuse a request from him.
Wow, looks like Detective Gumshoe has a following.
Furthermore, I was asked to give you this document to you, sir.
What is this? The man in this picture, isn't this Mr. Oliver Deacon?
But the name here says Colin DeVore.
That's the same name as the one on the back of the pendant. It appears that Colin DeVore was his real name. What's this? He was convicted in a case 10 years ago and sent to prison.
What? Then what was he doing here?
Apparently he broke out of jail and then just vanished. He must have become Oliver Deacon to cover up the fact that he was an escaped felon.
Now I'm not sure what's going on anymore.
There's some sort of link between the victim's past and this current case. These police documents are rather detailed. I should take the time to give them a thorough read eventually. It's fine, let's focus on one thing at a time, starting with the kidnapper's hideout.
Yeah, I agree. We should investigate first, think later.
More than thinking things through, I think you should try remembering things first. Well, this is where the kidnappers planned their foul deed.
Well, you were tied up for a while in the room next door.
Hey, please, must you bring that up again? Now then, down to business. There might still be some clues left in this room. Let's try to find out what we can of the other kidnappers' identities. Whereabouts unknown after escape from Pen E Dent prison. Stole a gun from a guard during his escape. He thought he might head for where his wife and sole daughter are, but despite our surveillance, he has yet to show up. He does not weigh very much. Cheap styrofoam cups.
Looks like only 3 cups were used.
I wonder what this key is to.
You got me.
Reminds me of the key we found in the other room.
That's it. This must be the key for one of those trap doors.
It wasn't a trap door. You only call it one because you quite literally jumped into it.
Hey, but isn't that what you're supposed to do when you see one?
I'm not having this conversation with you.
There are 3 chairs set around the table. Hey, there's a trapdoor in this room too.
It's not a trapdoor. It's an entrance to an underground passage, Kay.
I know that.
The door leading to the outside world was locked, so Lance must have escaped his prison through here. What have we here?
Looks like a sword. A broken sword.
Strange. Why would it be broken like that? Maybe it broke when someone was trying to use it for or on something. Hypotheticals aren't going to get us anywhere. Perhaps we should think more on this later. This must be where they dispose of old and worn-out costumes.
That's so sad.
It would seem that they throw the costumes away in pieces. Beyond this door is where the
Kidnappers held you after getting the jump on you.
must you keep reminding me?
But it's the room where I got to see your awesome girl face.
You didn't need to remind me of that mortifying moment either. The common denominator between the cups and folding chairs is the number 3. Speaking of which, the number of missing costumes is also 3.
Wait, but I thought there were only 2 kidnappers.
Indeed, something isn't adding up, literally. Is it possible there is a 3rd kidnapper that Lance didn't see?
I love how big she talks. When she talks, she fucking puts her whole mouth into it. Whereas Edgeworth is just kind of like this, it's more chill. She's like this when she opens her mouth. That doorknob handle thingy is looking pretty beat up.
I suppose that's what happens when 10 officers break their way in with brute force.
Hey, that's odd. The lock on this thing is completely fine. Look, not a single dent.
But how is that possible after what the officer told us?
Yeah, if the lock had been in use when the door was busted down, then the lock itself should be completely wrecked.
So the lock on the door leading to the outside is undamaged? How can that be? It's a bit strange that the police had to force their way into an unlocked room. One look at the pristine door lock and anyone can see that it was not in use at the time.
But the policeman outside said it took 10 men to get it open.
A door that was locked tight despite it not being locked at all. It can only be because of this.
Oh, you mean...
Yes, it was used to jam the door. Here, take a look at the door handle. You see how the handle is completely destroyed?
So that's how the sword broke.
I thought that we might uncover the true identity of the kidnappers. But instead, we've only uncovered more questions that need to be answered.
Never, ever fucking do that again.
It just popped up like it was nothing. What is it?
Well, well, Mr. Edgeworth, am I correct?
What are you doing suddenly popping out of the secret entrance like that?
This is an underground passage used by staff members, sir.
Oh, that's fucking gumshoe, isn't it?
Badgers also make use of it in our duties. Wait, no. Look, why don't you get out of there first and then we'll talk, okay? Proto Badger, get! Alright, only one more to go.
What are you getting all excited about?
Did you forget the photo rally? Duh. See, look, now all I have to do is get a picture of the Bad Badger and I'm done.
Oh yes, I vaguely recall a contest or something of that sort.
What? Who is this? It's gone, but where'd it go?
What's wrong?
A Bad Badger costume is missing, sir. Oh, is that all? Well, it's missing because a kidnapper stole it. Heard about how they were stolen, but they said that only 3 of the costumes had been taken.
What? He's saying that more than 3 of them are gone? Mr. Proto Badger, please tell me a little more about these costumes you use. He is really in that personal space.
Why, just what I said, sir. We are 1 badger short.
I have an idea.
Guys, you're 2 of each costume I had all the time. Okay, so because one of them is walking around in the park,
the other should be in that room.
Oh, actually, both of them should be in that room. Huh? What do you mean? Normally, we don't use the Bad Badger costumes. In fact, we only use them during a certain event at a set time each day. It's the stage show where the Bad Badger wreaks havoc around the park. How can you look at Proto Badger's eyes and not, like, shit yourself and drop the gun and run? The other Badgers must work together to apprehend them, sir.
I'm speechless that such a show exists.
Well, sir, I was just trying to explain to you the only time we use that costume. Then doesn't that make it near impossible to take a picture of the Bad Badger? Listen, I can't believe that it's this close to showtime and there's no costume. Oh dear, what am I to do, sir?
All of this basically means is that the kidnapper stole 4 costumes in total.
Then are you saying that there are 4 kidnappers?
No, I don't think that's very likely.
Oh?
Recall the costumes for a minute.
The stolen ones, you mean?
What proves that a 4th kidnapper does not exist? You had 4 people and you wanted to steal a 4th costume. Wouldn't you naturally go for the full set and steal a Pink Badger costume instead?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And yet the kidnappers decided to steal another Bad Badger. I believe the culprits needed 2 Bad Badger costumes, but the question is, why? Mr. Mr. Proto Badger, how did you know my name?
You're pretty famous, sir. I would think that most people would know who you are.
Famous? Me? Oh, shucks.
Absolutely, sir. You're always very active in the community, I hear.
Oh, I didn't know you were such a celebrity, Mr. Edgeworth.
I feel like I've met this person before. Maybe it's just my imagination? It can only be one of two people. It could be Gumshoe moonlighting, although I don't know why. Like, he's acting like he's a part of, like, consistently a part of the show and shit. I don't think that's the case. There's one other person that it could be. It's not, and it's not Meekins. The second Bad Badger costume. I believe it may be closer at hand than we think.
What do you mean?
That costume in the trash. Wouldn't you say that it's wearing some very telltale pants?
Hey, you're right. Let's get it out of there and take a look.
As I suspected, it's a Bad Badger costume.
Well, minus the head.
Won't rest until I've expected blah 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 blah.
Look, its hand is hurt.
Hurt? What? What the fuck are you? Looks more like something was ripped off of it. I wonder why this Bad Badger costume's right hand is torn up like that.
Maybe it's a flesh wound from a fight with the Blue Badger. I always knew the Blue Badger was one ferocious beast.
I somehow doubt that even real badgers are as bloodthirsty as that, Kay. The sword? That would be weird. Oh, the gun. I believe what we have here is an inconsistency.
Between what?
Look carefully. Our costume is not holding something in its right hand than it should be.
Oh, the gun!
Precisely, the Bad Badger was designed to always hold a gun in his right hand. However, you there, did you remove the gun from this Bad Badger's right hand?
No, you're not sure. The gun is supposed to be securely attached to the costume.
As I thought, the rip itself confirms my hypothesis that the gun was forcibly removed. Mr. Proto Badger, the gun is, of course, not a functioning weapon, correct?
Absolutely not, sir. It's just a model gun. Or it can fire blanks. We need to use them for the stage show.
Seems that our kidnappers also had a need for the model gun, my dear costume friend. I think we're about done with this room.
So what's next?
Well, we found a few answers, but there are still a few things left that we have to ask a certain person about. Let's go, Kay. Mr. Edgeworth, sir. Okay, so we know it's not Gumshoe for sure now. We've got to hurry, sir. Come on. What is it, detective? They found a Blue Badger costume down by the main gate, sir. What?
Isn't that what one of the kidnappers is wearing?
Bingo! That's why you gotta come to the main gate with me right now. If we hurry, we might still be able to get there before Wolfboy does, sir. All right, let's make haste to the main gates. Where's the costume, Detective Gumshoe?
Just on the other side of the fountain, sir. Was it out here in the open all along?
No, it was discovered in the tall grass back there. We moved it out here in order to examine it more thoroughly. Then let's get down to it. Oh, that face. Oh, this headpiece. This must be the Blue Badger Officer Meekins crossed paths with. Oh, the nerve of someone throwing a Blue Badger away like this. I worked so hard to create this character. It's like my baby. How could someone do this, sir? How? Detective, how about channeling your anger towards finding the culprits? Good idea. Oh, wait until I get my hands on... So, who are they, Mr. Edgeworth? Why don't you try figuring it out for yourself for a change? I.e., I don't know either. What do we have here?
Oh, it's another pendant. That's 2 treasures in one day. How lucky is that? And hey, this pretty baby's made of platinum silver too.
Another pendant on top of the one we found on Mr. Deacon? Is it possible that these two...
Hold it right there. Hands off, Mr. Prosecutor. You sure know how to cross the line, don't you? Pendant, huh? This is a very decisive piece of evidence.
How can you tell?
Look here and read off what you see.
Lauren! Hey, it's the name that's engraved on this.
Okay, maybe it's not her, because that would be way too obvious then for her to get implicated so early, right? Good. I'm glad it's not her. Tired of sweet girls being fucking murderers.
Aha! We have you now, Miss Kidnapper.
No, you don't understand.
Honey, I can't believe you were one of my kidnappers.
Lance! You're kidding! Miss Pops is one of the kidnappers? Yes.
Oh, motherfucker! She's not the one that killed...
It was me. I held Lance hostage.
So Miss Pops is one of the kidnappers. But even knowing that, I can't call this case solved or over.
Hey guys, case closed. Get the car ready, and I'll be the special one for this young lady. Again, Mr. Prosecutor, what is it this time?
Are you proposing that Miss Pops is also the culprit in the murder case? What happened? I thought Officer Meekins was your suspect.
We found it. Found what? That officer's gun. He literally dropped it in the middle of a thick patch of grass. Your country's police are a sham. Just look at how careless they are.
Who are you calling a sham?
The officer's gun didn't show any signs of having been fired, so it can't be the murder weapon.
Officer Meekins has been cleared of all charges, I see.
And that's when a brand new suspect comes walking out onto the scene. Murder only happened because the kidnappers started fighting amongst themselves. As I recall, it was you who said that, right, Mr. Prosecutor?
Miss Pops, did you really kill Mr. Deacon? Yes, I killed him.
I can't believe it.
Thanks for the confession.
Yeah, she's lying. She didn't do it. So what is she hiding? Was this all a fabrication? And she's just trying to protect him because she loves him? The victim? What the fuck's his name? Lance? Agent Lang, it's much too early to declare this case closed.
Look at you, so sure of yourself. You got the culprit's own confession and some very incriminating evidence. What more could you ask for?
Miss Lauren Pops.
Yes?
I want to hear it from you. Tell me your side of all that has happened today from the kidnapping to the murder.
But why? I'm a kidnapper and the killer. Isn't that enough?
It's fine if you're the one behind everything, but only if that is the truth. Now then, will you tell us the truth? Or is there some reason why you can't?
I've had a change of heart. I think I'd enjoy seeing you sulk away as the losing mutt. All right, you heard me. Let's hear about all the evil deeds you committed today.
No, she's too precious.
The one who came up with the kidnapping plan was the butler, Mr. Deacon. We knew that we could get rich by holding Lance hostage. Mr. Amano would pay anything to get his son back after all. Everything was going according to plan, but as soon as we got the money, Mr. Deacon turned on me and tried to kill me.
There, you satisfied she just confessed to her crimes a second time? At least you have the guts to admit what you've done. I can at least respect that much.
Miss Pops, is what you said really the truth?
Yes, it is.
That is the truth. It certainly isn't the whole truth, because there is something that seems a bit too improbable in her confession.
Hold it!
How well did you know the victim?
I've spoken with them only a few times at Lance's house.
A few times, that's it?
Yes.
They only met a few times. I don't see how they could have trusted each other.
But if you hardly ever talked, then how could he trust you to not steal his plan?
That's completely irrelevant. He was planning to betray her from the very beginning, which is why he chose someone he wasn't especially close to. Isn't that right, Sheena?
Yes, however, Mr. Deacon made a very poor choice. In the end, he was killed by the one he intended to betray himself.
I bet you he didn't see that one coming. Stupid fucker.
Hold it!
You knew? How did you know something like that?
Oh no, what should I do?
Okay, what's wrong with her now?
Come on, isn't it obvious? You're making your scary face again, that's why. Why don't you try asking her in a nicer, more gentle way? No, stop it, Lauren. You're always like this. You always fall for the stern-looking one. That's why you'll always be unhappy.
Oh my god! What is she doing? She's crazy. She's actually crazy. Oh dear, okay. There's that. She has this tick where she, like, goes to cut her hair with a scissors in frustration over herself.
Or maybe that's it. She's been bewitched by your icy glare.
Mind your own business, Kay. Now then, Miss Pops, let's continue with her testimony.
Oh, yes, of course.
Hold it!
Would you mind telling us a little bit about the plan itself?
Well, first we captured Lance.
Oh, how'd you do that?
Well, Mr. Deacon did that on his own, so I don't quite know.
Bah, and here I thought you knew how to steal people away. I shudder to think what you would do with such knowledge.
Sorry, I really don't know, but somehow Mr. Deacon was able to contain him. All we had to do after that was wait for the ransom to be paid, but...
Hold it!
Why do you think he did?
I have no idea, but maybe he had planned on doing so from the very beginning. Miss Pops.
Wait, Mr. Deacon planned to kill Miss Pops from the very beginning? Was that ever really likely to happen? What should I do? Should I raise an objection?
I'm sorry, but I don't think what you just claimed is all that likely.
Huh?
I don't think Mr. Deacon would have ever been capable of killing you.
But why? We were total strangers. It's not uncommon for people to kill each other over money.
Miss Pops, you really are clueless, aren't you?
Well, what do you mean?
You never knew what your role in the kidnapping was, nor do you know who you really are. But I do, and I can show you with this piece of evidence. This proves that Mr. Deacon wouldn't have been able to bring himself to kill Miss Pops. Do I show the... What do I show? The pendant?
Take that!
Why are you showing this to me?
So what about the pendant?
This horse pendant, along with this piece of evidence, show who you really are.
Take that!
These two pendants resemble each other, wouldn't you agree?
Hey, you're right. They're the same color and they're even made of the same material.
I believe that these two pendants are actually one. Shall we give it a try?
Wow, it's totally Pegasus. But why does my pendant match up with Mr. Deacon's?
You're a smart lady. I'm sure you can imagine why that might be.
No, that can't be.
That's fucked up. She just found out that she just found her dad and also just found out that he died right like in front of her.
So the two make a sit. It's just another trinket. It's not as though this changes anything.
You lack imagination, Agent Lang. Very well, I'll show you with this evidence. This piece of evidence that gives meaning to the Pegasus pendant. Oliver Deacon was just an alias for this man. His real name was Colin Deveray, the name that is etched on the horse pendant.
What? An alias?
I suppose he had to hide the fact that he was a felon somehow in order to live. And it makes sense given what was written in Mr. Deveray's dossier. But what I really wanted to point out was this. This specific section is what reveals the true meaning behind those presents. Mr. Deveray had one daughter, and her name is Lauren Pops.
That's a lie. That person was not my father.
He couldn't come out and tell you he was your father because he was in hiding. However, I believe he was trying to secretly watch over you. Do you still believe that a man like that could kill the daughter he was separated from? Or even that such a man would allow his daughter to get involved in a kidnapping plot? And what is so funny, Agent Lang?
You're good at making things up in your head and deciding it's the truth, aren't you?
Pot calling the kettle black.
You're thinking it's much too innocent. After all, I've thought of another possibility.
Is that so? Well, let's hear it.
It is an anagram. I didn't think to look at that because I thought about it. I'm like, he might be your dad. And I looked at the last name and I was like, okay, well, if he is, then one of these last names isn't their actual last name. But I didn't even think to consider it to be an anagram.
I'll grant you that two of them are father and daughter. But isn't it possible that they both knew that fact? It was no coincidence that the reunited pair became involved in the House of Amano. The two of them made good use of their meetings to plan this little kidnapping. Wouldn't you say my scenario is perfectly probable as well?
Well, this is his version of how things might have been.
You don't have any proof that either one didn't know of their true relationship, right?
You mean they knowingly committed the kidnapping as father and daughter?
That's right. As one really rotten family.
Is that what really happened? I'd better take a long, hard look at the evidence.
Right. So Lance set this whole thing up. He set it up because he's getting threatened because he needs the money and didn't want to admit that to his father, so instead they staged a kidnapping and she's trying to cover for him. Whereabouts unknown, surveillance hasn't shown up.
Hold it!
You think they knew?
Yeah, I don't think only the victim knew. I think the girl realized it as well. They both knew who the other person was, but they had to pretend that they didn't.
Because he was on the lam?
You got it. The victim couldn't exactly go around flaunting who he was. Furthermore,
I actually like this because I do that a lot too. Like this. When I'm like putting a very large thought together on the fly.
Hold it!
I believe you're being a bit too overconfident for someone with no evidence.
am I? Because I don't see you presenting any evidence to the contrary.
I mean, you're presenting the evidence, so the burden of proof's on you, and it would be in trial too. I think he has this backwards. I mean, he can have the philosophy all he wants, but it's not correct.
Without evidence to counter him, we're stuck in a draw.
No, we're not.
Agent Lang isn't wrong. His scenario is certainly a probable one.
You better hurry up and do something or Lauren's gonna wind up looking really bad.
I know, but first things first. Is Agent Lang's line of logic factually correct? Did the two of them really knowingly commit the crime as father and daughter?
Though I guess the other point of the matter is that in this system it's a little different in terms of like how presumptions are really treated in court. If they knew they were father and daughter and she killed him, why would she have left the pendants on his person? Wouldn't she have taken it as to not trace it back to her?
Two of them made good use of their meetings to plan this little kidnapping. Two of them.
Objection!
There were three kidnappers. This kidnapping wasn't planned by just two people alone.
What kind of proof do you have of that?
Quite simply, there were three kidnappers.
3.
More costumes were stolen from the Wild Wild West area's back room. We found one of them in the kidnapper's hideout. But as for the other three, we can assume they were being worn by 3 different people. We also found a set of 3 cups and 3 folding chairs that were used in the hideout. It all clearly points to a 3-man group. And I believe this third person is the real mastermind behind the kidnapping. And it's fucking Lance.
Who is this mastermind?
I present to you the brains behind the kidnapping.
Take that!
Lance Amano?
Yes, this abduction was in fact schemed up by Lance himself. Recall what he said when he appeared before us. However, there were 3 kidnappers, which is in direct contradiction to what he said.
But I know I only saw 2 people. This guy was being held hostage. It's possible he couldn't see all 3 of them.
Oh yes, about when you were being held. I have my doubts about what happened then. Lance, would you mind telling us what happened while you were being held captive?
I really don't remember much anymore, honest. But if I don't tell you at least something, you won't believe me at all, will you? I was kidnapped yesterday morning. They had me shut in that room blindfolded the entire time. But the kidnappers suddenly disappeared around the time I heard rain falling outside. My hands were cuffed, but it was a stroke of luck that they left me alone. I made my escape and ran away from that room as fast as I could.
Through the underground passageway, I presume?
Are you okay?
Sorry, I didn't really want to recall that horrible ordeal, but now you believe me, right?
No, not quite yet.
Huh? How can you not? Why do you look at me with icy daggers in your eyes? Kinda turns me on, to be honest.
Because he's a prosecutor and because they're all like that.
I'll have you know, Agent Lang, a prosecutor's eyes are for discerning the truth. By the way, have you ever seen Payne's eyes? He's never been able to do that in his life. And should they be interpreted to be cruel at times, then so be it. There's a sticking point in Lance's testimony. Let's see what he offers up when I push a little.
Hold it!
Can you tell us about when you were abducted in a little more detail?
It was a strange morning. I felt like I was right in the middle of a great calm.
And where were you when you experienced this calm?
Our family garden, of course. Where else could it have been?
Well, excuse me for asking. This child is more princess than prince.
I was out taking a walk to shake off the morning blah. Then, out of the blue, someone from behind clamps a hand over my mouth.
You didn't see your attacker?
I didn't see him, per se, because they must have used some drug to knock me out. But before I knew it, I was off in La La Land again. When I woke up, I was in the kidnapper's hideout already, all tied up.
By that room, you mean the room in the kidnapper's hideout, correct?
Yes, but I was blindfolded the whole time, so I didn't know that until I made my escape.
Then you were in the same room as your kidnappers?
They spoke in hushed tones, but I could catch bits of their conversation. It was definitely 2 people, and one of them was definitely a woman. I was so scared. I could tell they were nearby, so I didn't dare make a move.
Hold it!
The kidnappers disappeared?
The room fell into a sudden silence. I'd been left behind like an unwanted mutt.
And what do you mean by unwanted mutt?
What a pointless question. It's not like he's going to tell you anything new, you know.
It's a poetic simile. You should learn how to use them, too. You may look refined on the outside,
But it's no good if you're not refined on the inside as well.
Those cuffs on your wrists, I suppose you are still cuffed in that case.
I am well aware of how I am chained to reality. Hair flip. I couldn't find the key, so I'm afraid that I'm stuck like this. Even though I escaped from that jail cell, I will forever be a prisoner.
How did you manage to escape?
I wanted to just get out of there, but the door leading outside was locked, which is why I had to use the underground passageway to make my escape.
Remember our escape to be equally as hard. This is an invaluable piece of testimony. I mustn't let it go unexamined. You say that the door leading out was locked, but it wasn't really? We're talking about that room behind the saloon front, right? Look, I've heard that it took quite a few men to get that thing open, right? Shina?
Yes, that's correct.
Then take a look at this. What is that, a sword? It's not an especially reliable one if it's broken like that. Allow me to start from the end. My conclusion... I don't know why, that sounded really funny. My conclusion is that the door was never locked. It was simply held shut by this sword, which was used to jam the handle. Lance, even though your hands were cuffed together, you could still use them. If that's the case, then why did you not just simply remove the sword and escape?
Why didn't I? I was disoriented. Yes, that's it. I didn't notice it, per se.
As if I should accept such a bold-faced lie. You locked yourself in that room because you had to make yourself look like the victim. But you did not, in fact, possess the key to the room. The door. That is why you used the prop sword to improvise and create a prison of your very own. You've been making this guy out to be one of the kidnappers for some time now. I wonder if you've forgotten something very important along the way. And what would that be?
Oh, now he cares. Now he cares about a motive, guys. Now he cares. Oh, he definitely listens to My Chemical Romance, along with Panic at the Disco, but seriously, if I'm being quite honest, my favorite two bands are Dashboard Confessionals and Red Jumpsuit Apparatus. They're a lot, I mean, like, they're known, like, people know, they're good enough that they have to be known, but they're not as, like, mainstream and attract all the normie fans like My Chemical Romance and Panic at the Disco do. All this pop shit is so garbage, and I'm over here like, yeah, they sound a lot better to me now.
Do you honestly think that an uptight pure boy like him would hatch up a completely pointless scheme such as kidnapping himself?
This proves that Lance did indeed have a motive to commit this crime. Do you know who this is? She is fucking frightening. To put it simply, Lance has a very urgent need for money. This is hardly your typical love letter. It is in fact a collections bill. Particularly frightening collections bill. Anyways, it appears our upstanding boy has accumulated quite a debt. Isn't that right, Lance?
Ugh. Looks like it's hard being the son of a rich man, too. It must be rough when you have to resort to stealing from your old man, huh?
Alright, I give up. I abducted myself.
Lance! It's over, Lolly. In this life, we really are bound to our fates after all. All I wanted was to go with you to a new town, somewhere where no one would know us. I wanted us to be well off with that $1 million, but now that dream is over.
Oh, Lance!
Then you are giving yourself up?
Yes, I had planned to run away from this world with my Lolly. Oliver even helped us with the plan, but then he had to go and stab us in the back.
He turned on you?
Maybe he didn't want us with the ransom money, that's my guess. It happened almost right after you made the drop-off. When we were alone, he attacked me all of a sudden. After a brief struggle, I was able to contain him and keep him under control. We left him inside that room as Lolly and I made our escape. We wore different costumes and split up. Lolly left first in the Blue Badger costume.
That would mean the person Officer Meekins saw was Miss Pumps.
But right then, the old man just had to wake up. I was careless and he tackled me pretty hard from behind. Then Oliver put on a Bad Badger costume, took the suitcase with the $1 million and ran. I contacted Lolly right away and warned her that he had a gun.
They had no idea that they were related, so I thought it could only end badly. I still don't believe it. That person was not my father. Because if he was, I just killed my own father. Lolly, then it really was you? She's still fucking lying. Man, what a devoted girl. That man was not my father. I mean, because at the stadium, there was a bad badger pulling a suitcase with $1 million in it. But that badger pointed his gun at me, aiming to shoot me dead. That's why I used the gun I got from Lance. There was a gunshot. The other person crumbled to the ground, and I ran, scared for my life. She fired a blank, didn't she?
I think the big picture is finally coming into focus, don't you?
Lolly, forgive me. I didn't think it would turn into something so frightening. If only I could have protected you instead of running away. So Miss Pop, she shot her own dad without even knowing who he really was?
If what she says is true, are you saying she's lying? Why would she lie about something like that? What purpose would it serve? You'd be surprised how often people lie without even realizing it themselves, Kay. Oh, what's that supposed to mean? What I mean is, listen very carefully to her confession once more and you'll see. So where do we present the gun?
Hold it.
Were you able to clearly see the gun?
Yes, I got a very good look at it while it was pointed at me. Oh, Father, why would you try to shoot me?
You really think a father would shoot his own daughter, Mr. Edgeworth? I don't know. I don't want to believe it myself.
But it's true, my father's left arm was raised with the gun in it, pointed straight at me. I'm about to die, I thought.
Miss Pops, please calm down and take a deep breath. And then would you allow me to please hear that last statement one more time?
Yes, of course.
Nope, that's not it. Where did Gumshoe come from? Oh my god. Are you kidding me?
Objection!
Because there's no way he could have been firing the gun with his left hand, because he's right-hand dominant. I thought it was weird that they would even bother putting that in his dossier. Very strange. Dominant hand. I have a dossier on your father. According to this, your father was right-handed.
Then...
This is the same thing as 1-4. And they correctly were like, yeah, that's true, but that doesn't mean he couldn't have used his left hand. Or right hand, I forget if Edgeworth was right or left-handed.
Then...
The person pointing a gun at you from atop the stage was not Mr. Deacon.
Hold on there, Miss Prosecutor. I think you need to take a refresher course. The Bad Badger has a model gun attached to his right hand, which is why the only hand he could have held the real gun was his left. Isn't it possible that it went down like that?
Agent Lang, were you paying attention to what Miss Pops was saying? Then again, I suppose I can't accept someone who has never set foot in court to catch it.
Enough with the smugness. Out with it already.
Miss Pops told us earlier. According to you, the Bad Badger had the gun in his left hand, which would mean that he was pulling the suitcase with his right hand. Is that correct, Miss Pops?
Yes, exactly. And I'm sure it was the Bad Badger. It had those huge sunglasses on its face.
And if that's the case, even I can see there's a huge contradiction.
Yes, Miss Pops claims to have seen the Bad Badger, and yet the Bad Badger had both of his hands full. These two pieces of information contradict each other, so one must be wrong. Why would they be, if he had one in his right hand, one in his left hand, then they're correct? Oh, because he can't have both of them in his hands. Yeah. I was thinking they were talking about both the guns. They are both correct. See, that was my gun. But I thought they might have been talking about the double guns. Miss Pop's entire statement rests on the fact that she saw his sunglasses and beard. But what if that Bad Badger wasn't wearing pants on his lower half? This proves that there was a way for the Bad Badger to freely use both his hands.
Take that!
The costumes have two parts to them, a head and the body.
Oh, I get it now!
The head Miss Pop saw was probably really the head of the Bad Badger. However, is it not possible that the body was that of an entirely different badger?
A different badger?
Yes, or to put it more bluntly, I believe it was the lower half of this badger. The
The body of the Bad Badger Miss Pops really saw was... Fuck, I don't know. It can't be the Proto Badger because we know who the Proto Badger was. Meekins had the other Blue Badger though. And wasn't she in the Blue Badger? She put on the Blue Badger, right? We know it wasn't the Pink Badger because Old Bag had the Pink Badger, the full Pink Badger suit. And whatever suit she had, she wore the entire thing. So she had to be the Blue Badger, so then it must have been the Proto Badger, right?
Take that!
What the heck is it?
It's the Proto Badger.
Yes, and it's a simple matter of process of elimination. Miss Pops was wearing the Blue Badger costume, so we can eliminate that one. The Pink Badger is of the wrong color, which would have been incredibly obvious. All that is left is the Proto Badger costume. Miss Pops, who was the one who wore the Proto Badger costume?
That would be Lance.
Are you saying what I think you are? That Lance Amano donned the Bad Badger's hat and pretended to be Mr. Deacon? On top of which he plotted to shoot Miss Pops while wearing that hideous thing? The stage that was set up in the stadium was nothing more than a setup. Its purpose was to lead Miss Pops into believing she had committed murder. Standing there in front of Miss Pops and pretending to be the victim. It was all done so that she would pull the trigger.
Ha 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 ha. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Why exactly would I have to do all of that, huh? There is but one reason. Lance Amano, you are the real culprit behind the murder of Mr. Oliver Deacon. What?
No! That's slander. Take it back. You take it back right now.
Just out of curiosity, Lance, which is your dominant hand?
I'm left-handed, but what does that have to do with anything?
Favorite new character? New character. Probably, what the fuck was her name from the last case? The culprit? I liked her character a lot. She was very amusing. The villain in the first one was good too. He was a little more obnoxious, but I thought he was still really good. It depends. According to Miss Pops, her attacker held a gun in his left hand. Who is one-handed doesn't prove a thing. And besides, now you're just being absurd. Not like the Proto Badger's bulletproof. One misfire, and he would have found himself dead, right? Of course, logically, if he had been shot, he probably wouldn't be here with us. But I believe he had thought of that as well and prepared accordingly. And this should be all the evidence you need. This is how Lance made sure that he wouldn't be hit by a bullet.
Take that!
We found one half of a Bad Badger costume in the hideout, a broken one. It was not the same one that the victim was wearing, plus it was missing something. And that something is the model gun that the Bad Badger carries, which can fire blanks. What? Miss Pops, where is the gun you use now?
I threw it away into the sea.
That makes it a bit tough to verify what it was, although I believe that we can safely assume that it was the model gun in question. I've heard enough. All you've been spouting so far is pure conjecture. I admit that as long as the model gun is lost to us, I can't prove I'm right. However, I can say that the probability that I am right is very high. Okay, let's pretend that you're right, and that the murder at the stadium was a fabrication. In that case, where do you think the murder really took place, Mr. Prosecutor? When they first had their tussle? I don't know yet. Ha, I knew you were full of it. However, I do believe that the murder took place during an earlier time frame.
Please wait a second. It's simply not possible because I saw Mr. Deacon after he was restrained by Lance.
You saw the victim in the state of being restrained? You are still going at it, huh?
I came back to the hideout long after the other two. By that time, Lance had already subdued and restrained Mr. Deacon. He had tied Mr. Deacon securely to the beam in the room next door. After that, the two of us put on our costumes and made our escape.
Mr. Deacon must have escaped after the two of you left, right?
We thought it'd attract too much attention if we left together, so I left first. We planned to meet up again at the stage in the stadium, but then as I was walking through the park, I got a call from Lance on my cell phone.
Oliver managed to escape. It looked like he was waiting until I was alone. He also stole the gun from me at that time. And then the murder happened. Mr. Deacon must have overheard their plan to meet up at the stage. Well, Miss Prosecutor, Miss Pops saw the victim with her own eyes, which means that the victim was still very alive at that time, wouldn't you agree? Why does that sound wrong to me? There must be something amiss about this account.
Hold it!
Are you sure that it was Mr. Deacon that you saw?
Yes, I'm certain of what I saw.
Did you go into the other room to check?
Lance said that it was best if I didn't get too close to him. Lance, he's such a kind soul.
Then are you telling me that you did not confirm that it was Mr. Deacon for yourself?
I checked through the slit in the door that separates the two rooms. He had a bad badger's head on, so I'm absolutely sure.
That just had to be Mr. Deacon. Wasn't that us? Well, the tied up Mr. Deacon was still in his bad badger costume?
Yes, and?
It would appear that she misread the whole situation. Now, should I raise an objection? The person you saw was not the victim.
What? Why not?
I will tell you why not with this. This, Miss Puffs, shows that the person you saw was not the victim.
Take that!
Miss Puffs, the person you saw was not Mr. Deacon at all.
Huh?
The person you actually saw was this person. It was me.
Oh, the person I saw was you, Mr. Edgeworth?
I always thought it was a bit odd. Why would the kidnappers abduct me even after I'd handed over the ransom? It was not as though I saw the face of the kidnappers. If I were them, I would have just taken the $1 million and ran. But in the end, there was a point to it all. It was to make me look like Mr. Deacon. And if that was the reason for which I was abducted, then I believe we can assume that the victim was already dead at that time. Well, Lance, am I right?
That's...
You showed Miss Pops a person, namely me, with a blue badger's head on. A bad badger's head on, sorry, I screwed myself there. And then made your costumed escape together, or so you pretended.
What do you mean he pretended?
Exactly that. I believe Lance watched you escape, and then doubled back to the hideout. Probably to come and remove the bad badger head from my unconscious self. And to create his fake prison with the prop sword, he then escaped via the passage.
Hold your tongue, boy. Don't get caught up in that tidal wave of words coming out of Mr. Prosecutor's mouth.
Tidal wave?
We've heard a lot have come out of you, but I've yet to see a shred of evidence. The victim's betrayal and his subsequent detainment. All that could have happened while you were out cold.
That's right. You were out for quite a while, Mr. Prosecutor. And if that were the case, Miss Pumps would have still seen me tied to that beam.
I was scared of Mr. Deacon, so I didn't go into the next room. So I really have no idea if you were in there or not, Mr. Edgeworth.
You see, it would seem that you can't prove a thing.
Ugh.
Who said that?
Please wait. Mr. Romano.
Oh, Miles, my boy, it looks like you're really giving it your all.
And Lance,
It's not good to cause trouble for others.
Dad?
Let's see, you are the one in charge of the investigation, correct? Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry that my son's never did nothing but trouble. This probably won't make up for anything, but I have some evidence for you. Oh, do you now?
Is that what I think it is?
It's the bad badger costume the victim was wearing and a gun.
I couldn't wait around for the police, so I went and found these myself. Odd that I could find these and you couldn't. It appears that they were disposed of in the sea. Is there no one in this country who actually obeys the law? There. Now, Agent Lang, please calm down. What the heck is that scrap of paper?
This appears to be a letter from the chief of police. Please allow Mr. Amano complete freedom to do as he sees fit, it says.
What? The chief of police? What the? Just who does he think he is?
The person who wields the highest authority in this area.
Ho ho ho, there. Now, there is no need to be so upset. I'm not a cop from this land, so I'm not bound by the laws of your country. Now, this wasn't meant to strong-arm you into anything. It's just a request. I'm only asking that you please respect the laws of the land. I can't really say no to that. However, returning to the topic at hand, it doesn't matter who found the evidence, its value remains unchanged. Alright, now let's take a look at this new evidence. I've already got the results back. I had a special forensics research lab that I'm on good terms with conduct the tests. They verified that the blood on this costume belonged to Oliver. As for the gun, the only fingerprints they could find were yours, Lauren. What? You disappoint me, Miles. I can't believe that you would cause my son such distress and heartache. Thank goodness I was able to find the final piece of evidence. With this, you'll have no reason left to push my poor boy around.
That's it? These are case-making pieces of evidence?
I'll be the judge of that.
I won't rest. Oh, God. A bullet hole. This bullet hole looks kind of burnt around the edges. Wait, those burn marks were left by the gunpowder. This is the most important fact. Why is that? Because it is proof that the victim was shot at point-blank range. Would this gun be the actual murder weapon? What's this? It looks like there's something inside the costume. Hey, that sparkle, I bet they're really valuable. Sorry, but they're just pieces of a mirror. But why are they in here? Well, these are not the most definitive pieces of evidence you've ever seen. Thank you, Dad. This should be enough to convince even Mr. Edgeworth over there. Make no mistake, there are fingerprints on that murderous gun. And they prove that it was Lolly who killed Oliver, but Oliver was also after Lolly's life. So Mr. Edgeworth, even you must see that Lolly was only acting in self-defense. The fingerprints on the weapon, huh? Oh no, this isn't helpful at all! Look, Mr. Edgeworth, all I want to do is save Lolly. In the end, all I can do is watch on as she takes the punishment for her crimes. That may be all you can do, however, I still have a case to solve and a job to do. The job of unraveling your insidious lie. You wound me. Why won't you believe me, even in the face of all this decisive evidence? Decisive. You sure are calling for someone who's accusing his own girlfriend of murder. You have it all wrong. Allowing her to pay the price is a form of love. She says that she also wants to pay back her debt to society, but...
Hold it!
And why do you believe that the victim was set on taking Miss Pop's life? I suppose it's because he wanted to silence her, to keep her quiet because she knows the truth behind the kidnapping. In that case, why did he not target you as well? That's because he knew that if he killed me, he wouldn't be able to control my father. Oh, right you are. Even if it cost me millions, I would have the killer found. I believe he didn't kill you for an entirely different reason, however I digress. Look, more than why he didn't kill me, I'm worried about what'll happen to Lolly.
Hold it!
Justified self-defense, I suppose that is a possibility given the circumstances. Really? Oh, thank goodness. However, self-defense is not necessarily in this case. What do you mean, per se? Miss Pops is innocent. She didn't do anything, so why would she need to defend herself from nothing? You still don't believe a word I say, do you? The entire argument hinges on the fact that her fingerprints are on the gun. However, the truth does not lie there. It lies on whatever he is hiding from me, but not for long. Those fingerprints, are you sure they belong to Miss Pops? There's no mistake about it. Through my connections, I had the best forensics techniques money can buy performed. I find that to be a bit peculiar. What? Are you trying to pick an argument with me? What should I do? Should I raise an objection? Frankly, I don't believe that Miss Pops' prints should be on that gun to begin with. And the reason why Miss Pops' prints should not be on the gun is the costume. Simply not possible for Miss Pops to have left any prints on the murder weapon. Because while she was at the stadium, Miss Pops was wearing her costume. Huh? But there should be no mistake, we found fingerprints. Well, Miss Pops, do you remember touching the gun at all at any time? Ah, yes, as a matter of fact, I did hold it for a bit back in the hideout. I handed it off to Mr. Deacon when he and Lance left for the haunted house. Retrieve the ransom money, I suppose. And there you have it. That is when Miss Pops' prints found their way onto the gun. Ugh. You understand now, Mr. Romano? The fingerprints do nothing to prove that Miss Pops is the murderer. But you still don't have anything to prove that she isn't the killer, right? You seem very adamant about insisting that your girlfriend is a cold-blooded killer. Oh, Lance! What? No way. I'm incredibly worried about her. See, this is my incredibly worried face. That doesn't change the fact that you don't have any evidence, right? Neither do you. But you don't have any... Okay. That's where you're wrong. I have the evidence. What? How? The story that Miss Pops killed the victim at the stage at the stadium. The whole affair is simply not true because that was not the real crime scene, but a setup. This proves that the real murder was not committed at the stadium at all. Oh, the gunpowder thing. Let's take another good look at the costume the victim was wearing. Then I believe you'll see why I insist that he was not shot at the stadium. That would just prove that he wasn't shot at that particular time. He still could have been shot at the stadium.
Take that!
The burn around this bullet hole was made when the victim was shot at point-blank range. Ah, so then you mean the murder Miss Oldbag saw at the stadium really was? Yes, she saw two people, but they were separated by a distance. If the victim was indeed shot from below the stage, there shouldn't be a gunpowder burn. Hey, look at you, Mr. Smarty Pants Prosecutor. Since you seem to know all the answers, why not tell us where the real crime scene is then? Lance set me up to look like Mr. Deacon back at the hideout. If that's the case, then the murder must have happened prior to that. The location where Lance and the victim were at just before I was in prison was... I've got it. I know the real scene of the murder.
Take that!
I think it's not unreasonable to assume the murder took place in the haunted house. The haunted house? Yes, and I have proof that it is highly likely that the victim was killed there. What proves that the real scene of the crime was the haunted house?
Take that!
These were inside the costume the victim was wearing. They're fragments of a mirror. A mirror? And what does that have to do with anything? Indeed, you don't exactly expect to find pieces of a mirror inside a costume. Yeah, that's actually pretty dangerous. Yeah, no shit. However, there is one place I can think of where there is a plethora of mirror fragments, and that is the haunted house. Lance Armano, I propose that you killed Mr. Deacon with the revolver in the haunted house. I win the game of Clue! After that, you stole the Blue Badger Mobile to move his body to the Wild Wild West. The timing of when the Blue Badger Mobile was stolen confirms this as fact. Miles, my boy, say no more. I'm sorry, Mr. Armano, but I cannot do that. Be quiet. Yes, please do something. Stop that boy from speaking any more nonsense. Ernest Armano, correct? I meant you. Now be quiet, Gramps. How dare you? I don't need words. The only thing I require is evidence, decisive evidence. And to call these mere bits decisive is a bit too presumptuous, Mr. Prosecutor. What? Gina, wasn't there a mirror in the kidnapper's hideout? Yes, there was a mirror there. A mirror that's for the haunted house. You see, isn't it possible the fragments got into the costume there? But Agent Lang, there were no fragments on the floor, so the probability is very low. Probability? Like Z says, on Truth Past, the word probability does not exist. Isn't this going against everything he was doing before and saying, the only thing that does is definitive proof? The question, Mr. Prosecutor, is, do you have the definitive proof you need? Well, Mr. Edgeworth, do you? Do I have solid evidence that proves the murder took place at the haunted house? The answer is no. See? So since you don't have any, shut up. I don't have the evidence yet, but I'm certain the murder occurred around the time I turned the ransom over. At that time, the only people at the haunted house, besides myself, were Lance and Mr. Deacon. I can prove that the murder took place at the haunted house, and I can prove Lance's guilt in connection to the murder. What now, Mr. Edgeworth? Agent Lang, I have a special request. Yeah? I'd like to prove to you that the scene of the crime was indeed the haunted house. Why in the world are you asking the werewolf for permission? Because I don't really have a choice if I want to find the truth. Alright, permission granted, but you're not to touch a single thing, got it? That wouldn't be a problem. All that's important to me is that the truth be brought to light. It doesn't matter by who or how it's done, as long as it is. Sheena, I'm here. Put in the paperwork for the authorization immediately. Understood. I'll go get the Gatewater Group's approval. Who was that? Now, let's hold on for a second. There is no need to obtain approval. Mr. Romano, Agent Lang, if you'll please take a look at this. What is this? Sheena! It's the deed to the haunted house. Oh my god. What a big brain move! Read it out loud. Gatewater Land Incorporated hereby bequeaths the property known as the Haunted House to Mr. Amano for the lump sum of $1 million paid in full in cash. What? Oh, as you can see, I'm now the legal owner of the haunted house. Are you kidding? When did you? I ran into the owner of the park earlier and we made the deal almost immediately.
How quickly things move when you can prepare $1 million in the blink of an eye.
That $1 million you paid. Don't tell me it was.
Oh, that's right. This disgusting suitcase belongs to you, doesn't it? I don't have any more use for it, so you may have it back now.
You used the ransom money?
My Lance is a good boy. He even apologized for the kidnapping a bit earlier. So I do believe that I will forgive him. After all, he did return the ransom money. That's the way things are, so if you would please discuss things with me from now on.
Discuss? What is there to discuss?
Why, permission to enter the haunted house, of course.
While we were busy listening to Lance's story, Mr. Romano was out there preempting us.
Permission to search the haunted house is denied. End of discussion. Agent Lang, I want you to arrest that girl. And Miles, you should hurry on home now, my boy, before I really lose my temper.
Mr. Romano definitely has the deck stacked in his favor here. What should I do? If I leave it like this, the truth will be lost forever.
God damn! That was...
Okay, so that move was power. However, now we have an issue. On one hand, that move was pretty sick, and it was cool to see in terms of like a villain. Like, oh shit. On the other hand, this case should probably be over by now, and this is all just extra padding that they did because we already know who did it. We already know where they did it. We know what they did it with. This all extra is not stuff we need. So like, that's where I'm conflicted on this. That was badass, but also this is completely unnecessary.
Yeah, just get a warrant. He's done.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with them buying the crime scene. Well, they didn't know that it was the crime scene at the time. So that's interesting. Would it being a crime scene have voided a property deal? I'm not sure that it would. I don't think so. Because it's not, he just like short sold it for some cash. I don't think there was any guarantees or warranties or representation that would have voided the contract involuntarily. So I don't think that there would be a problem with that. It looks highly suspicious, enough so that if I'm a judge based on everything I'm seeing, I probably go, yeah, I'm gonna give you a warrant to search the premises, and then there's nothing he can do about that. Like, you can get warrants to search private properties. It seems like he has an in with the police chief, so... But I wonder here if the prosecutors can get a warrant and like circumvent the police chief. I don't know if that's something they can do.
Hold it, hold it, hold it!
Okay, you could just have said period there too and been like, okay.
Mr. Edgeworth, what are you doing spacing out? Have you forgotten? There's only one thing you should do at a time like this.
And what is that?
When the people are in a bind, the hero of justice appears to save the day. Look, you just leave it to me. For I am K. Faraday, the second of the great Yatagarasu.
I thought you were a thief, not a hero.
The Yatagarasu is noble and is always a thief of justice.
That's, of course.
If we have enough information, I can recreate the inside of the haunted house with this. Plus, if we then factor in everyone's testimony,
you can recreate exactly what happened when I dropped off the ransom money. You may be able to figure some new information through this. It's worth a try. Agent Lang.
So you want to use a little toy? Be my guest.
Okay, hang on. You're all about to witness true power of a real modern-day Robin Hood.
Detective Gumshoe, is there a copy of the haunted house's blueprint among the police reference documents?
Yes, sir.
We got it, just in case we needed it for the kidnapping case.
All right, I'll input the haunted house data then. Chaos Emerald.
Oh, what is this? Where are we?
It's like we're inside the haunted house.
Even if we can inspect the real location itself, the path to the truth slumbers here. Now then, I believe I'm ready to investigate the crime scene.
Okay, what should I recreate first?
You haven't figured it out yet?
Maybe I haven't, maybe I haven't. But I'm gonna make you do all the hard work.
Very well. I'd like to inspect the moment in which I was ambushed by my abductor. 2 of them were definitely in this place at that time. If I can verify that, it may provide me with a new lead. I just come out into the hallway after leaving the money inside the dining room. At that time, I saw a badger slumped over on the floor at the end of the hall.
What was a badger doing all the way down there?
I also thought it was strange. However, I thought that maybe it was simply a mannequin that was set there for atmosphere.
That's excellent atmosphere. Do you know which badger it was?
No, it was too dark to tell. All I saw was the silhouette.
In that case, I guess I'll just program a badger silhouette in for now. Programming complete.
There, I started walking toward the exit.
And that's where you were struck from behind, right?
Yes.
But that's odd. The hallway is a dead end. Where'd your assailant come from?
There's only one location I can think of. I believe my assailant was lying in wait here.
Take that!
That doll I saw wasn't really a doll. It was in fact a costumed kidnapper.
Oh, so you used the costume as the perfect camouflage to blend in with the rest of the house.
Precisely. He waited until I had made the drop-off and was about to leave. Then, just as he saw me take a step towards the exit, he stood and launched his attack. I can think of no better hiding place than this.
Hey, not bad. I'm beginning to think I should steal this tactic for myself.
Don't use it to do anything criminal, okay? Well, Lance, what are you asking me for? As one of the kidnappers, I figure I should give you the chance to confess first. I did come up to the haunted house, but I never set foot inside. I left Oliver in charge of picking up the ransom money. He didn't set foot inside. Is he telling the truth or is this another lie? I want to see your psycho locks! Alright, then you're claiming that it was Mr. Deacon who assaulted me? Yes, I'm sure it was him.
Okay, I'm putting the new information now. Mr. Deacon was the Bad Badger, right? Bad Badger has a gun attached to its right hand. I have to change it so the weapon is in his left hand.
Now to verify the facts of this recreation. I remember glancing over and seeing this figure sitting here as I left the dining room.
So I guess I got it spot on when I put it here in my recreation. I imagine this is how he snuck up on you.
That gadget of yours can even replicate people's movements?
Well, it's used to plan heists, so of course it's got to be able to simulate the police.
It's definitely well made. Perhaps too well made. Maybe I should confiscate it after the investigation. Yeah, she helps me and then I fuck her over. Ha 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 ha! That's the Edgeworth way.
You take a look around, it almost feels like a house of mirrors.
Indeed, who has ever heard of this many mirrors inside of a haunted house before?
Well, at least we know this is the real crime scene thanks to these mirror shards. Hey, wait, these shards, there's something different about them.
Oh?
The ones we found earlier are thicker than the shards from these mirrors on this wall. And look, there's some sort of design on the back too.
The pieces from that costume are certainly different from the other mirrors. What does this mean? Could it be that our pieces are not pieces of these mirrors? You didn't recreate the weapon.
Well, I can't exactly recreate something I know nothing about. So tell me, what were you hit with?
The attack came from behind, so I have no idea. But I doubt it was someone's bare hands.
Okay, then where were you hit?
I was hit on the right side of my head, just above my temple. There was a bit of blood, but it wasn't anything serious.
Ouch, sounds painful.
Why are you smirking like that when you say it?
It's just your imagination. Now let's see. Wonder if there's anything in the hallway that could have been used as a weapon. I'm looking for something that the culprit could have used to hit you with.
Take that!
I haven't. There was indeed one such object lying here in this hallway. A prop sword.
Are you talking about this thing here?
Yes, although we did find it at the kidnapper's hideout. Wait, yes, it's possible that the culprit took it with him after using it on me.
To leave no evidence behind, right?
Correct. It may be worth a more thorough examination yet.
Okay, so what test do you want to run on this sword?
Culprit was wearing a costume at the time, so a fingerprint analysis is useless. Let's run an luminol test. It's possible that some of my blood found its way onto this. Agent Lang, may I ask for your cooperation in this matter?
Like I have a choice. Sheena, call the lab boys.
Understood.
To me, it feels dirty doing a luminol test without Emma.
I mean, with her A Link to the Past sprite, she literally becomes a luminol bottle.
No.
The sword broke when Lance tried to use it to block the door, and they had to kick the door in order to get access to the hideout. That's what broke it. Okay, I'll have to update the recreation with this new piece of info. And in the next instant, this badger will swing his left arm complete with weapon in hand.
Yes, to club me with the left side of the prop sword.
Shall I recreate the moment of impact? I want to see the pained expression on your face.
It's just fine the way it is. Wait, maybe not. Is it just my imagination or is something not quite right?
Oh shit, hold on. I forgot I was almost dead.
It's on the left side.
Eureka!
Finally, I found a clear contradiction of facts about this sword. Except for a bit on the left side, this prop sword is absolutely spotless.
However, if the culprit had used his left hand, the blood would be on the opposite side. The opposite side? Huh? The culprit held the sword in his left hand, and the sword's right side would hit. I see, but the blood was on the left side of the sword, right? Which means that he used his right hand to hit you. Exactly. This prop sword has a large hand guard attached to the hilt. It would be impossible to hold it with two hands while wearing a costume with such big hands. Therefore, if it couldn't be the left hand or both hands, it must have been the right. I'll change the data to reflect a right-handed swing. Not yet, Kay. There's no sense in changing anything yet. If you change the parameters to the right hand, it only create a new contradiction. Changing the prop sword in the culprit's hand would conflict with what? This one, right?
Take that!
The Bad Badger already holds a gun in his right hand, so he can't hold a sword in addition. Hey, that's right. Then what now? If it wasn't in his left or his right hand, means that the one who struck me could not have been the Bad Badger. Are you paying attention, Lance? Mr. Deacon could not have been the one who struck me, which leaves only you as our primary suspect. Fine, it was me, I hit you. Appears that you lied to me yet again. But see how quickly they catch up to you, Lance? Wait, isn't Lance left-handed? Ah, yes, but that's what makes this deception all the more interesting. He used his right hand to make it look like Mr. Deacon had been the one to strike me. For you see, firing a gun with one's non-dominant hand is difficult. But that level of dexterity isn't required to swing a prop sword. Ugh! Okay, please input this new data. The one who hit me from behind was Lance, or should I say the Proto-Badger. You got it! Here I go! Oh! Doom! Death! We're all going to die! No! No! The devil's going to kill me! Now, we have a faithful recreation of the situation around the attack on me. Alright, all we have to do is examine this new recreation and... look at how funny I find this. Look at how my entire body is vibrating. Look how my shoulders are going up and down. What exactly is so funny, Agent Lang? That amusing little gadget. Sure packs a punch, right, Sheena? Yes, it was all I could do to hold my laughter in. Hey, don't make fun of little thief, you mean old werewolf. You and Mr. Edgeworth bring out the best in each other. You've had your little fun, but now it's my turn. I've sat quietly by, listening. But the crude conclusions you two keep spewing don't whet this wolf's appetite. There's no guarantee that your toy will always show the real situation at any given time. All it displays is whatever information you put in there, right? Well, when you put it that way, your suppositions are wrong. It's not your fault, so I'm going to let you in on this. There is a trick to this haunted house. And what may that be exactly? A trick beyond what your tiny imaginations can produce. Sheena! Here you are. Now then, what you missed, girlie, is written right here in this pamphlet. 7 Wonders of the Haunted House, the Disappearing Badger? What is this? I'd say that someone around here is fond of theatrics, and as you can see, they sent a doll down at the end of this hallway for a purpose. Basically, the blue badger you saw was just a stupid doll. How can this be? Guess that throws your whole theory about it being your attacker right out the window. But that can't be right. Maybe the culprit hid the doll somewhere. Then he laid down and pretended to be it instead. Criminal couldn't even hide himself in the hallway. How could he hide a giant doll? You get it now? Thanks to your presumptions. The logic started off weak and led you to the completely wrong conclusion. Ugh. Now get off your high horse. Mr. Edgeworth, okay, I wonder if you can please input the new information for me. You don't know when to quit, do you? I can't quit, not until I can declare that I found the truth. Agent Lang, for the additional information, you have my thanks. There you go again. We'll see if I care. Okay, I'm updating the recreation now. That looks really weird. Look at how it changes from the blue badger into the proto badger all of a sudden. The slumped over badger was just a doll. Where was my attacker hiding? Well, that's what we're gonna find out, right? So come on, Mr. Edgeworth, let's go. Yes, let's. This recreation can't be right, which means there must be a contradiction somewhere. Lang comes off as a fucking tool. Like, half the shit he says, it's like, no, that's actually not how you're supposed to go about your job. That's how an asshole would go about their job.
Evidence, evidence. I arrested that person because I felt it in my gut.
Huh. That's weird. The belt's different. I mean, it's the same as on here, though. It's the same on here, though, too. Hold on a second here. There's something wrong with this blue badger. Huh? Like what? The way the belt's on him is opposite of how it should be. Did you make a mistake?
That can't be. I inputted the image data exactly as it is in the pamphlet.
Then why is the blue badger dressed up in reverse? Because of the mirror. Okay, do you remember what you said earlier?
What I said earlier about what?
About how this building might as well have been a house of mirrors.
House of Mirrors? Oh, that would explain the reverse or mirror image.
Yes, this blue badger might be nothing more than a reflected image of a real one.
Then was the blue badger you saw just a reflection?
When I looked down this hall, I thought it was perfectly straight. However, if there was a mirror...
Oh, then it actually would form an L shape, right?
Precisely. I was deceived. The hallway was almost pitch black, and there was a beam in the way that obstructed my view of the other hallway.
Wait, but why build this place like that? It sounds pretty pointless to me.
Hey, this house is just another attraction at an amusement park. I created a mirror wall for a very specific purpose, one I can point out to you. This was the reason they built a mirror wall.
Fuck, I don't know.
Oh, because he's disappearing.
Take that!
This is written in the pamphlet. The main draw of this attraction is the mystery of the disappearing badger.
You mean they built the mirror for that trick alone? But you said you saw the badger, so it's definitely still there.
That was true at the time, however. Doing this allows someone to make the blue badger disappear in a flash. To remove a reflected image, simply move the mirror. First, the mirror was constructed so that it could be moved. Then beyond where the mirror was, an empty hallway had to be created.
Oh, so when they wanted people to see the blue badger, they would open the mirror.
And when they wanted to hide it, they simply had to close it again. This explains why the other side of these fragments have a design on them.
Ah, and if the pattern is the same as the other walls in this hallway,
then when the mirror is closed, it would blend in with the rest of the walls. This is the mirror trick that this haunted house employs. And this also proves the existence of a hiding place for the culprit.
Huh? How so?
Think about it, Kay. There was a place that was outside of my field of vision. The culprit kept out of sight by hiding here.
Take that!
A very large blind spot, one I could not see beyond, and it was here. My assailant hid on the other side of the movable mirror.
You wouldn't be able to see him. You didn't even need to do anything to the blue badger doll.
Exactly. All you had to do was wait for me on the other side of the mirror.
Wait, hold on. I just thought of something.
Yes?
Well, shouldn't the mirror wall be broken right now in reality?
We have a few shards of it, and probably assume it is. Yes, it most definitely is broken. The question is, when was it broken? Since we found these inside the victim's costume, it would mean that the victim was there when the mirror was broken. Wait, that sound. That sound I heard was most definitely the sound of a mirror breaking. Okay, I'd like you to input some new information.
Ah, don't stare at me like that.
Sorry, but I need you to recreate something for me.
Sure, whatever you need.
So what do you need anyway? You could first recreate this hallway just before I entered the dining room.
You got it.
If they had the blueprint, shouldn't they have already seen that there was like a room off to the side and then been able to make that deduction? That seems very strange that they like specifically would bring up the blueprints and then not use them. Now I believe this is how it was right before I entered the dining room. Although at the time I thought it was but a single straight hallway. And then I went inside. It was around that time that I heard the sound of a mirror shattering.
You heard what? Then
Yes, I believe it was then that the mirror was broken. Okay, so when you stepped outside into the hallway again, the mirror wall should no longer exist, Kay. Please recreate that. Got it. But if they're the police, you wouldn't think they would be getting some, like, misleading blueprints. How? Because that wouldn't be useful at all. If you're law enforcement, you probably have access to the real blueprints, like the actual complete blueprints. Unless there are no blueprints that actually exist of the completed house. That would be strange, too. Need to keep something like that somewhere, right? Wait, but with the mirror gone, the culprit lost his hiding spot. So where did he go in his proto-badger suit, Mr. Edgeworth? Huh, that's easy enough. The mirror gone, he simply hid himself in the branch hallway. I think this about wraps it up. It's like we finally solved everything. No, not yet. An even larger contradiction has now reared its head. Huh? Perhaps you did not notice, but this recreation contains a very troubling inconsistency. Kay, take a good look at the end of the hall. Oh, there's no blue badger there. Exactly, the blue badger that I saw in reality is not there. This is the final point on this long chain of logic, the last remaining contradiction. Let me get this straight. When you came out of the dining room, you saw a badger, right? And that is precisely where the final contradiction lies. Something that shouldn't exist was there before me. Who or what do you suppose it was? I believe this is the real identity of our mystery badger. The badger I saw in actuality was in actuality the dead victim's body. What? Agent Lang, the entirety of my complete logic is my final decisive piece of evidence. The murder happened in the hallway of the haunted house at the time of the drop-off, and you can consider the moment I heard the mirror breaking to be the real time of death for Mr. Deacon. No! Maybe it was due to their fighting, or perhaps it was the life-shattering bullet. But no matter what the cause was, the hallway mirror wall was broken. Would you have heard a gunshot though? You were in the house at the time, right? You're telling me that you missed the sound of a gunshot? There were a variety of sound effects playing at the time, all for theatrics, I assume. Are we buying this? I'm not buying this. This seems kind of weak. I honestly don't remember him saying anything about all the sound effects earlier, but even, this is the thing, it doesn't matter. Even if that were established, do you know how loud a gunshot is compared to most anything else you hear? The effects of that house would have had to have been like eardrum busting, basically, to overshadow a gunshot sound. And he heard the mirror shatter, but not the gunshot? Gunshots are louder than mirror shattering. When he's making that face, we have to buy it. I mean, it is a good selling face. Oh yeah, exactly. You would think he'd be like more sensitive to what gunshots sound like. I got over all of that trauma. The gunshot must have blended right in. The music does say he's right. Ayah. Now then, I'd like you to recall something for me. Who was it that was with the victim at the haunted house? Who was the one who had the opportunity to rob the victim of his gun and use it on him? It was you, Lance Amano. Wow. I'm sorry. It's not like I had a choice. Oliver turned on me all of a sudden. He snapped and turned violent right after I hung up with you. He shoved me to the ground and straddled me. I fought back as hard as I could, grabbed his gun, and I shot him. The bullet must have went through his body and shattered the mirror. If I hadn't taken his gun and shot him first, I would have been the one you found. He's a hardened criminal. He escaped from jail. See, that's justified self-defense. My boy was only trying to protect himself. That remains to be seen and will have to be resolved in court. Agent Lang, I leave the rest to you. As if you were the one in charge around here. Guys, arrest these two and get them out of my sight. Wait, I had nothing to do with the murder. The only person you should be arresting is Lance. Dad! Dad! What a douche!
Sorry, but you're not slipping away that easily, Mr. Ernest Amano. You tamper with the evidence so you can cover up for your son. What a great dad you are, willing to risk it all, truly touching. By the way, do you know why I'm really here? And how could I possibly know the answer to such an asinine question? You warned me I came all this way across the sea just to see you, you know?
You came to see me? What's that supposed to mean?
I have a few things to ask you, Mr. Amano, about a case from 10 years ago.
Case from 10 years ago?
Oh, what's the name that you use here for that case? Gina!
It's known as the KG8 incident.
KG8 incident? So you remember it? Good, then you'll recall the trigger in that case was the Amano Group scandal. Specifically, the charge of an internal smuggling ring.
Smuggling? There's that word again.
At the time, the person that was arrested as the ringleader was Mr. Amano's very own secretary, Mr. Colin Deveray.
Father,
even though you pushed the crime onto your then secretary, Mr. Deveray, I always suspected that you were involved with the smuggling ring, Mr. Amano. Mr. Deveray was arrested in place of you, which is why when he broke out, you hid him from the police, right? You hid him in exchange for his silence on your little dirty secret.
Now. Please calm down. I honestly have no idea what you're talking about.
Pretend to be ignorant all you want. We're taking you down to the precinct anyways for a nice long chat. What the? Who the heck was that?
what? Wait, what?
Oh, take him down to the precinct if you don't mind. And who the heck are you?
What the fuck voice did I give him? Right, so that's what I initially thought, like, this must take place before case 1. But didn't Edgeworth not know who the hell he was? That's the weirder thing about it. I could have sworn Edgeworth's like, who the hell is this? I thought he had to introduce himself to him again. He does say when he first appears, aren't you that prosecutor? Okay. Fair enough, fair enough.
I'm Jock Portsman, and I'm the prosecutor in charge of this case.
Oh, Jock, thank goodness you're here.
Don't jerk me around. This is an Interpol case, so keep your paws off my suspect.
Sorry, but I can't comply. I've got the backing of the prosecutor's office. See, in this country, we prosecutors work with the police to bring cases to court. So if you could please cooperate with me here, that'd be great. Now, how about a handshake to seal the deal?
Sorry, but I hate prosecutors, the whole lot of you. Guys, arrest the 2 suspects.
Sir.
Oh, I almost forgot. Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth, is it? I'd like to thank you.
Thank me?
Yeah, for working so hard to fulfill my goal.
Hey, is that any way to thank someone? And what the heck is that supposed to mean?
You were so relentless with Lance that you forced Ernest to tamper with the evidence. Thanks to that, I finally had a legitimate reason to arrest him. So how does it feel to bite the hand that feeds you?
The hand that feeds me? I'm not sure I follow.
Yeah, it's no use pretending with me. You're the one, right? You're the corrupt prosecutor that's working for Mr. Amano and the smuggling ring, right?
No, I would never do such a thing.
Tch, what the heck? Our intel's never wrong. Your prosecutor's office is definitely someone working with the ring.
Ah, so Agent Lang suspected my relation to Mr. Amano. That must be the real reason behind his antagonistic attitude.
On top of that, your mentor was Manfred von Karma, right? There were non-stop rumors flying around about forged evidence with that guy. You're not twisting the truth behind those closed courtroom doors, too, are you?
The courtroom is a place where the truth is revealed.
Ha 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 ha! Well, don't worry, it's not only you, the whole lot of you can't be trusted. Prosecutor who never lost in 40 years, every defendant must be found guilty. Fueled by those ideas, is it any wonder that courts produce nothing but falsities and lies?
It would seem that his disdain extends beyond just me. Prosecutors, the courts, why is this man so angry with us all?
Rest assured, the next time we meet, I won't be so forgiving.
You can't. What do you mean? You can't do anything to us for being a prosecutor, not legally. If you hadn't gone about things the way that you did, you wouldn't have gotten the result that you got. Nothing about his threat makes any type of sense. Don't you forget it.
Please wait. Agent Sheena, why does Agent Lang hate all prosecutors so? Lang is the head of the long-honored House of Lang in Changfa. The heads of all police-related divisions in that country were of Lang blood.
Were? What do you mean by that? Aren't they still?
They were revered, but that was long ago. So they don't hold that sort of sway anymore. And it was all because of the courts.
Sounds like that's a them problem. How can that be?
A prosecutor once withheld and tampered with the evidence one of the Lang detectives found. That evidence's purity was tarnished and cost the Lang family its honor and trust.
But not all prosecutors are like that.
Even so, Lang will never respect the court again, or any prosecutor.
Why don't he just do that to any race that's wronged him, too? Any gender, anything. One person fucked it up, they must all be terrible. Fuck you. That's a really bullshit motive, though not unrealistic. I will say that is not unrealistic.
Even so, Lang will never respect the court again, or any prosecutor.
So Agent Lang is a man that hates all courts and is unwilling to forgive prosecutors.
Man, what a piece of work that guy is. Come on, Jim, we'd better catch up.
Yeah.
You've still got to deliver that thing to the old man, after all.
Detective Gumshoe, I believe it's time we wrapped up and headed home ourselves. Yeah, are you going home too, Mr. Edgeworth? No, I've done nothing but be entangled in one mess after another since my return. It's alright with you. Can you drop me off at my office? No problem, sir.
Excuse me.
Yes, what is it?
That is, thank you very much.
Oh, it's okay. No need to thank me, pal. Just doing my job as a detective.
I guess I was fooled pretty badly by Lance. These ring pops really tasty, though. Oh, cruel fate! What's a woman to do when she's been hurt by the one she loves?
Cut off her hair, apparently.
And to think I never realized my father was right there. I never said anything to him. I knew it. I'm a failure.
There she goes again, talking to herself. Grin face. XD. Miss Pops, I wonder if you know why your father participated in the kidnapping?
No, I have no idea.
Your father died while he was trying to stop Lance, which means that from the beginning he had no interest in the staged self-abduction.
Wait, then why did he...
I believe it was because of your presence, Miss Pops.
Me?
Lance realized that the two of you were related, which is why he used you as a hostage to coerce Mr. Deveray into cooperating.
Father!
As a felon, he could not tell you of his real relation to you. However, as the Amano family butler, at the very least, he was able to watch over you. It was all he could do. That was the shape of his overflowing love for you.
Being a felon doesn't mean you can't tell somebody that you're their father. That's dumb. When they're an escaped felon, that's a little different because you don't want them to know who you are just so that they can't get in trouble.
Go on, speak your mind.
That is... Thank you very much.
You're welcome, although there is no need to thank me.
No, Lawrence, stop. I mean, this man's so much older than you.
Excuse me? I'm like 26 in this, aren't I?
He looks like you've completely stolen her away, Mr. Edgeworth.
Way to go, sir!
Your technique is way beyond the level of a great thief.
What are you going on about now?
Wow, your deducing skills may be sound, but you have no street smarts.
That's Mr. Edgeworth for you. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah, I mean, he still hasn't figured out who I am at all. If you haven't remembered in all this time, I guess I'm just gonna have to say it. This isn't the first time we've met, you know.
What do you mean, pal? Mr. Edgeworth? How do you know this girl?
Looks like you totally forgot me too, Gummy.
Gummy?
Here, maybe this'll jog your memories. I promised I'd return this to you one day, remember?
That's... A single piece of cloth took me back far into my past. That fateful day 7 years ago when I first met the then child Kay and Detective Gumshoe.
Old man!
Like, I'm 24. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, I like his design. He's a nice character. It's just his motivations are really stupid, and just some of the shit that he says is absolutely asinine. Like, there's no good reasoning behind it other than because. Okay, so this case compared to the other case 3s, it's a little
unfair to just compare them side by side because it's not a court case, right? It's an investigation case, so it's a little different, but at least we can compare it in terms of the investigation, the logic and how it lines up, characters. When I came into this episode, I was honestly expecting something worse. It wasn't good, but I honestly don't think it was as bad as I was led to believe it was. This is still better than Big Top for sure. And then we have the stupid, dragged out, convoluted concert case of Apollo Justice, so 4-3. 3-3 was the French cafe case, which also sucked. And then we have 1-3, which is probably the best of the 3 cases of the chapter 3, episode 3 cases. Just in retrospect, you had a few good things with case 3 that you didn't find elsewhere. The villain was actually pretty good. I thought the characters in general were pretty good except for Old Bag. What happened wasn't like outlandish. It just didn't. The problem with case 3 in the first game is it just wasn't as interesting as the rest of the cases besides the first case, but that was like the ultimate tutorial, right? It was the first game. But if there was an Ace Attorney game where you're just doing doc review, that'd be the best for me. In terms of like my performance, it'd be terrible for you guys in terms of like interest level. Lang's motivation is asinine, and he said some incredibly stupid things, but his general character's design and presence were nice. It would be interesting. I assume we're gonna meet him again, because setting him up like that and then never showing him again would be weird. So maybe his character develops a bit and makes him a lot better. The maid was cute. Lance and his father, I did not see that turn coming from Mr. Amano. Makes him kind of sinister, which adds a lot to his character. Did not expect that super big brain move from him. Now, would they have eventually got a warrant and have been able to search? Yeah. But I think his whole thing was he just wants to stall them so he could probably get rid of any further evidence, which is still pretty big brain. Kay was really cool. I like Kay a lot. She really added freshness to the case. Seeing Emma was cool. Emma was a nice little. I think she's there a little too long to call it a cameo, but her like being able to insert her in there for an actual purpose was cool. Old Bag actually wasn't. That's like the least annoying that Old Bag's ever been. The case logic itself, not great, but also not the worst. One of the biggest plot holes and it was mentioned earlier, and I thought the same thing, was they specifically mentioned the blueprints and then never actually utilized them, which would have made that whole one part a lot easier. That was weird. It would have been better for us to not even think about the just assume we didn't have access to them. The dynamic with Oliver Deacon was actually kind of cool. How he's worked for Mr. Amano before, was involved in something that caused him to go to jail, but was able to come back and work under an assumed identity that Mr. Amano would hide him with so that he could stay close to his daughter. And then there's the tragedy of, well, his daughter was there all along, and yet he couldn't even, that I thought that was a nice touch in terms of like adding some emotional resonance to like, man, you kind of feel bad for her, right? She loves this guy. Turns out he's fucking her over. And then, oh, by the way, her father was there the entire time. And oh yeah, the guy that was fucking her over also killed her dad. I'd say that's emotional resonance